scares the monsters looking in the dark. Gore and more team ready to embark. Thrills and chills, we embrace them all.
And what's going on, Gorehounds? Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Gore and More podcast. That's right. You know it. You love it. You smell it. It's the shit show. I'm not so mean, Fluff Mess Spring, Big Johnny D, bringing the shit show in. However, I cannot bring it in alone. For with me, as always, as you know, are my beloved horror brethren. Started off with that Chad Daddy, all the way down from the Chattahoochee, but we like to call him that Dark Lord of Knowledge, Mr. Chad Chrisman.
What's up, bitches?
We have, which we did not expect to have today, the Lord Scuba Cabra, the Dean of the Deceased, the host with the ghost, Mr. Steve Vasquez.
Hello, motherfuckers, and happy motherfucking birthday going out to my lovely wife, my queen, Melody. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Thank you for letting me be on the podcast today, honey.
Was not expecting it by any means, dude. We were still going to sing to her, though, so regardless.
We were.
I kind of guilt-tripped her, but it's fine. It's fine. It
Ooh,
worked.
That's all right.
It worked.
As long as that wasn't you in the ambulance at that Taco Bell, that's all that matters. And speaking of the meats, we got that Meat Mountain, that Killing Machine, that Long Dong Silver, Mr. Bobby Amone.
Good evening, everybody. Got this meat smoking up in this humidity.
What the fuck was that?
Yo, what is up with this booing?
Is that what that was? Oh,
yeah, that was a boo.
I was scared for a
Who did
second.
that? Oh, dude, it wasn't me. Look, my hand.
Oh no, we're going on a journey here.
Down the rabbit hole.
Fucking it, dude. We have all right. First and foremost, I got to start the shit already. We have a fucking doozy of a movie to talk about today. And
Dude,
that is not.
Yes,
That's a
fucking
fucking understatement.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh,
I'm trying to
God.
keep this. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet because obviously we're gonna have a lot to discuss.
Dude, I got
You
pages
think?
We are talking a movie that Chad Daddy has brought upon us. I have never fucking heard of my entire life, I could say.
Heard of it, but
I don't know
never
whether to
seen
thank him, hate him, kiss him. I'm not sure how to feel about this fucking
I'm going to
movie,
do all three. I'm going to
I
hate
might.
him while I kiss him.
right? It's gonna be an angry HJ going on.
The best kind. There's the best kinds of HJs. The angry ones.
I just dude, this movie was a fucking trip and a half, dude. I can't wait to fucking talk about it.
This was
But-
a cocaine fucking fever dream is what the fuck this movie was.
You're not wrong.
I'm
on
not wrong.
Actually, any level.
when you consider this is made by Canon Films, can't be too surprised.
dude, like I don't even know if you didn't like this movie overall, if you still didn't enjoy it. Because this
Yeah.
movie is just like bonkers.
It-
All the way
yes.
bonkers.
What?
dude.
Before we talk about that shit, boys,
That's right.
ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your Slice of Life.
Yeah, that was a fucking long boy, dude.
I felt a tingle down below here. Hey, go down, down.
Oh,
down.
yeah, I'm good.
No. You're still riding that high from watching this movie.
I am, dude. This movie was so fucking.
It was crazy.
It was
We'll get there, dude.
Crazy, literally.
So
Let's just say
Anyways.
there was no way you could have been bored watching this.
No.
confused.
Confused.
Sure,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely confused.
I don't know.
Sure.
Bored?
No.
No. But
You know why,
Questioning
though?
some of it? Yes.
You know why? You know why you couldn't be bored? Because even right before you were about to hit those bored fucking downward boop, perky titties brought me
Yeah,
right back
this-
in every
this-
single time.
this movie, like I said, this movie has a lot to talk about, and we will do that. But as Scoob said, we got to talk about what we last did. So, Chad Daddy, the reins are in your hands, buddy. What'd you do over the weekend, bud?
Well, Thursday, the wife and I celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Hey, congratulations, brother.
Thank you. And we celebrated by going to a concert. Who do we see? We saw A Simple Plan and Avril Lavigne live.
Nice.
Oh, nice, dude.
That was pretty sweet. And I'll tell you what. So A Simple Plan opened up. They only played for about an hour because they're the opening act, which is surprising. I thought they'd play for longer. They're a pretty big band. And about halfway through, he's like, oh, hold on. We got to do this now. It's like, really want to do this now? He's like, all right. He's like, I gotta stop this. I gotta make this announcement. He's then like, he talks to me. He's like, give it up for Scooby Doo, and they played fucking What's New Scooby Doo.
Hell
They
yeah.
went nuts.
I would have went nuts, bro. That's a fucking
Oh, it was great.
song, dude.
Oh.
It was great. So they put on a great show. Avril was awesome. They both, if you guys want, go on YouTube, look up, A Simple Plan or Avril Lavigne Pittsburgh 2025, and somebody's actually uploaded their entire sets.
Oh, shit.
Sweet.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so that was fun. What else did we do this weekend? Didn't do a whole lot. I think we went to the in-laws, did some cleaning, and did some gaming with the boys.
Yeah.
And let's see. So Friday night it was me, Scoobs, Brody, and Gene playing. And then Saturday was Phasmodome.
Yeah.
Fucking Brody's a cheater.
Brody is a cheater.
It's okay. You were pulling some asshole moves there too, Mr. Scoobs.
I was pulling
love
some
ya.
asshole moves. I was, and I'm not ashamed.
I think I topped that though when I led the ghost straight to your fucking ass hiding
Yeah,
behind
you
the
did, you fucking bitch. I was so pissed. I was so mad. I was like, what the shit?
dude. That makes up for the times you open the fucking locker when we're in there.
Seriously, you're in the friggin' locker.
The ghost was hunting, and it was like right there, and it stopped right in front of me, like it was just pausing for some reason. So I lit my incense and ran, and it followed me, and I saw Scoobs. I'm like, oh, I bet I can lead it straight to him. And went right around the counter and the island in Willow Street, led it right to him.
Nice.
I was on a roll too, damn it.
Yeah.
You were.
But that was my weekend. Keep it short and sweet. Scuba Steve, how about you, brother?
Let's see. Phasmophobia Friday, Saturday got up early, drove to San Antonio, which is about 2 hours away. Tried to rent a U-Haul. Or I already had it on reserve, like it was reserved. But I got there to San Antonio. Mel dropped me off at the U-Haul place. Then Sam and Mel went to my ex-wife's place, which is, I don't know how far away is it, but it's kind of a bit of ways. But they left me there at the U-Haul rental place, and I'm giving them my card because I'm going to drive the U-Haul to Sam's mom's house, and they're like, "Oh, we can't rent you the U-Haul. You're on the blacklist." And I'm like, "For what?" They're like, "Oh, you have to call this number and find out. Blah blah blah. We don't know. We have no idea." So I called the number, and I'm like, "Yeah, it says that I'm on some list or something that I can't rent a U-Haul, but like I literally reserved it." They're like, "Oh, you have a past due balance of $12. Blah blah blah." I said, "Okay, well, can I pay it and get the damn U-Haul?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I paid it. Turns out that the last time that my partner for the wrestling company rented the U-Haul, I put it under my name, but it was on his credit card or his Cash App card or whatever the fuck card he put it under. There wasn't enough money to cover because he drove extra miles than he was supposed to. So I got stuck with that fee. I rented the U-Haul. We picked up Sam's shit, came home, unloaded her. Sam is now living in Damien's old room because the game room is her old room. And I was not switching rooms with her. So, but did that, played Phasma with the boys on Saturday. And then yesterday, I didn't do much yesterday. We just kind of stayed home, and Mel worked for her birthday. They had this thing called chicken shit bingo, where there's a chicken in a chicken coop and there's a bingo card, and wherever the chicken shits, you mark your bingo card.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this huge event at the annex. So she worked. They did the whole birthday thing for her there, and so it was cool. So it was just me and Charlie all weekend, and that was it. Hung out with Grandma for a little bit. Went over there, took her some food, came back, played Phasma for a little bit. Started watching this movie, but then I got tired, so I didn't even hit play on the damn movie.
Damn.
And then so came home early from work to spend, half the day with Mel. We watched this movie, and I am so ready to fucking talk about it. Bob, your turn.
My weekend was good. Friday, I actually so I work for One Haunt. We had a soundtrack release party up in Newark at a club. So we were all dressed up, and we took some pictures and sold some CDs. So I had that going Friday night, which was nice. Saturday, the missus came here. We took my mother out shopping. I bought a whole new wardrobe for summer. Bought a few nice Hawaiian shirts, I must say. 4 of them, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And so those will be good on vacation, and they'll just be good to wear and be, that guy with it. I like it. We went to dinner and then played, Phasma Dome with the boys, and it was always a wonderful time as always. Sunday we went to hold on, give me a second. Her sister's in-laws have they live in a community, they have a pool, so we went there with her nephew and them and hung out for a few hours, played in the pool, went back to her house, had dinner, and then we started getting caught up on Squid Game season 3, which I gotta tell you, it's amping it up in this season. I hope it's the last one. Would be nice. And then finished work today, and I literally just finished watching this movie probably about an hour ago. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it.
So you got the freshest take.
Oh, it's fresh, all right, baby. It's fresh, baby. I'll tell you.
Nice.
John.
Let's see. What did I do this weekend? Well, I helped my wife's grandmother move into her new apartment. I apologize if there's some echoing going on. Not sure what the hell's going on here. We're trying to figure that out. I don't know, man. It's coming in ever so slightly when we're getting done talking, and I've heard it off the three of us. So I don't know if it's the new board or not. But
do you have a compressor on or anything? Does it have like a compression setting?
I'm gonna shut my AC off. Just tell me if that changes.
It's not your AC. No, it's not that. It's something. It's catching the audio
like an
and
echo.
Running feedback.
Yeah, it's like an echo, like when we play Phasma and you can hear like the talk.
Oh, yeah, like you get that little linger. Yeah.
Anyways, no, I had a pretty chill weekend. Burned the shit out of my nose though while I was moving her in because it was hot as fuck out here, and enjoyed the pool a little bit, which was nice. Yeah, what the fuck is that? There it goes.
Now I hear it.
It's pissing me off. I started. But then if you want to treat yourself, go to Dollar Tree, get yourself some sweet Terrifier glasses. Unofficial Terrifier glasses. I can't say official. Whoa!
That was interesting. Whoa!
Turn that off.
Damn,
that was bad. Nope, that's still going.
It's still robot.
Bye.
Testing.
Test goes 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to take Chad out. Hold on.
Oh, hello.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See,
right.
I muted him. It's not doing it. It's that board.
Damn it!
It's the board, bro.
It's gotta be
you, and it's not doing it. Now that I unmuted you, it's doing it. Sorry, homie.
It fucking pisses me off.
Oh, I bet.
Something simple though, Chad.
But anyways, yeah. So had a nice chill fucking weekend. Did a little bit of gaming and watched this fucking crazy ass movie to which I'm ready to talk about fucking right now.
And this all we have to say is it's crazy.
Dude, it's bananas
crazy.
In the best way though, man. Like there's so much to talk about. What's that, homie? Oh, sorry. Well, this is a Chad Daddy pick though, but Chad's doing a little technical difficulties. Scoobs, you want to take it, buddy?
Yeah, I'll take it if Chad don't mind. All right. So this was released June 21st, 1985. The Space Shuttle Churchill is assigned to observe Halley's Comet under the command of Colonel Tom Carlson. Lucky bastard. They see a strange form attached to the comet, and Carlson goes with a team to investigate. They find 3 humanoid life forms in caskets, and they bring them to the Churchill. However, Earth loses contact with the shuttle, and the Space Research Center sends another spacecraft to search the Churchill. They find the crew dead and the shuttle burnt and 1 rescue pod missing. They bring the humanoids to Earth, and soon Dr. Hans Fallada and his team discover that the space girl is a sort of vampire and drains the life force from people, transforming them into zombies.
Hell yeah.
When the authorities find that Colonel Tom Carlson has survived, they summon him to explain what happened in the Churchill. Carlson tells an incredible story about 3 aliens, and he teams up with Colonel Colin Kane, trying to save mankind from the evil vampires from space. Directed by Toby Hooper, Poltergeist, Invaders from Mars. Written by Dan O'Banion, Dan O'Bannon,
Yeah.
Alien, Return of the Living Dead, Don Jacoby, Arachnophobia, John Carpenter's Vampire. All of these movies are heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, they are, dude.
Produced by Yoram Globus, Masters of the fucking Universe, Cyborg, Menahem Golan, Over the Top, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And I'd have to say Superman 4 is the weakest movie on that list, but all of those movies were
See,
awesome
they were
nonetheless.
all, those are all just fire ass fucking
Yeah.
movies, dude.
Literally,
Yeah,
like,
they're
you go
fucking
down that list, it's like,
How's this?
Yeah, it's way better.
Sound
much better.
fantastic.
What happened?
I fucking disconnected the fucking soundboard.
Oh,
we can play
Well.
with it another time.
yeah, we'll play with it.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Is like, did you guys play with it in here?
That's what I was trying to do yesterday, and it was fine.
Yeah, and it
and
worked
you
fine.
and never
I don't
caught any
fucking-
feedback.
None at all. And we were on for what, 30, 45 minutes?
I
Interesting.
mean, I'm glad you guys heard it, and it wasn't just me thinking I was fucking crazy.
Yeah, no.
But
At first, I thought it was, but then I started to hear it towards the end. But
no, even before you hopped in, it started after. It wasn't first. It subtly came in. But anyways, all right. So Chad Daddy, if it's up to you, because obviously plot was supposed to go to you, but Scoob just
Keep
did
going.
that.
Keep going.
Do you want Bob to do this, or you want to do it for characters?
Bob can do it. I'll just go back to where it was.
Go ahead, Bob.
Normal.
okay. Starring Steve Railsback, Nuki, Disturbing Behavior as Colonel Tom Carlson, Peter Firth, The Hunt for Red October, Mighty Joe Young as Colonel Colin Kane, Frank Finlay, Othello, the pianist, as Dr. Hans Fallada, Mathilda May, The Cry of the Owl, the Jackal, as Space Girl, Patrick Stewart, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, American Dad, as Dr. Armstrong, Michael Gothard.
I love that you fucking put Men in Tights on there. Out of
That's
all
a great fucking movie.
No, I know, 100%. Thank you for that. Because you know
Oh.
what? That is exactly my speed that I need, dude. Because out of all the things you could fucking put him on there for,
Because
Men
we
in
know he
Tights.
did Star Trek and X-Men. Come on.
no, I know, but it's like,
I don't know how much more. I don't know how many more times I can see Patrick Stewart die. My heart can't take it anymore, man.
How about Kiss Another Man?
Oh, I was like,
Oh, hey, it is Pride Month, Steve. Let it go.
It's okay,
the
Steve.
last.
Just let it go.
it's Professor X, damn it.
Michael Gothard, For Your Eyes Only, Scream and Scream Again, as Dr. Leonard Bukowski. Nicholas Ball, Overlord Mutant Chronicles, as Roger Derurbid. Close
Dear
enough.
Bridge.
There
Dear
you go.
Bridge.
Dear Bridge.
Close enough. Aubrey Morris, Bordello of Blood. We know that movie. The Wicker Man as Sir Percy Heseltine. And Nancy Paul, Sheena, Sheena, whatever, as Ellen. I'm going right there. Chad, sorry for the butchers.
Body count total is a lot because it's pretty much like
Yeah.
almost all of London.
I would say at least
Yeah.
half of London,
Dude,
right?
and that was just one of the fucking vampires that was out there like fucking shit up.
I mean, just the amount of people that were on the front of the fucking cathedral. That was a lot.
Well, it was the zombie style, you know. I mean, it spread, so
Yes, it did.
they did their thing.
Yes, they did. Music by Harry Mancini, The Pink Panther, Ghost Dad.
Fuck yeah. Dude, okay. Say what you want about Bill Cosby.
No,
But I fucking love Ghost Dad.
I used to love that when I was a kid. too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
As a
did.
kid, I fucking loved that movie.
I have
And
not
now,
watched it.
and you know what?
since.
And now my dad is a ghost. It's fucking crazy.
That's some fucked
Wow,
up
that
shit.
got dark.
Yes, it did.
Oh, good.
That got dark.
Gene says the original script of Superman 4 is better.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it
Probably.
I I'm sorry, but anytime you mention that movie, Family Guy just jumps into my head, and that's like, yeah,
That's why I put that on there for
right.
because I have to be Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Ah, he said the thing.
So that's why they called it that.
Okay, music by Harry Mancini, The Pink Panther, Ghost Dad. Cinematography by Alan Hume, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and Supergirl. Edited by John Grover, Moonraker, Octopussy. Effects and makeup by John Dykstra, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, Spider-Man 2. Distributed by Canon Films / TriStar Pictures, runtime of 101 minutes in the theatrical cut, but I hope you all watch the superior 116-minute European cut.
What did we watch, Scoobs? The 156-minute one?
No, I
Yeah.
just said yours was 156 minutes. I don't
Oh,
know.
well, sorry. That was the
Hour
one I
and
watched.
56, yeah.
Hour
156 minutes. That'd be a long fucking movie.
Yeah.
I watched whatever was
Oh,
on.
no, that'll
Tubi.
be at 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And let's see, rated R, budget of 25 mil, only grossed 11.6 mil.
All right.
Yeah.
So, this movie is a first-time watch for myself.
Same.
Same.
And it was a Chad Daddy pick. Chad, was this your first watch?
No.
I didn't
No,
think
first,
it was.
actually, like I said, the first time I watched it was when I was hanging out with Gene one night when we were like super, super young, and it was on whatever fucking channel it was. And I was like, huh, that's kind of interesting because I think we missed the first part. I'm pretty sure it was a TV broadcast. So then I did suss it out later, and I was like, okay,
this movie
I like
would
this.
not. I feel like this movie would not hit the same being on TV versus like
No.
actual.
I would say
What you need.
probably. I would say you're probably correct.
Hi,
But yeah,
Mike.
this was not the first.
Brody.
I vaguely remember this being in theaters because I remember going to see another movie. I couldn't remember what it would be in '85, but I remember seeing the poster for this. Oh, by the way, coincidentally enough, I swear to God, did not plan it this way. This is like a week past the fucking
40th
40th
anniversary.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Which is funny because
Hey!
if I was watching so this says it was released June 21st, but I watched the theatrical trailer that was on the Scream Factory set, and it said it was releasing on June 29th. So I don't know if it got bumped up a week before or what. So if it was the 29th, hey, yesterday was the 40th anniversary. But if
Well,
not,
wait,
we missed it by a week.
Here's a question: what was probably coming out the same week it was supposed to come out? Maybe that's why they did it.
I didn't look too deeply into it.
85. I don't know.
All I
I'm
know
trying to
is this
think.
movie and myself are 85 babies. So yeah.
Hey.
No, man, 40 years old sucks, dude. I found out I had gout today. It sucks.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh,
dude?
shit,
Yeah,
was it?
dude.
You
I
guys
was
are
gonna
right.
ask you.
Oh,
I was gonna ask
shit.
you the day after
I
to see how
completely
your doctor's
forgot.
appointment went, buddy.
Yeah, that's it. Sucked. And you know what? I even thought to myself as I was driving home, and I was like, you know, I was wondering what was going to come my way once I hit 40, and I've been waiting for something, and there it is.
Well,
Sure as fucking
at
shit.
least it's not diabetes.
Or
Not
heart
yet.
disease.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's just,
Or a small cock.
It's still something.
Well,
well,
that's not.
Well,
listen,
yeah,
God did that to
nothing
keep
new.
me humble. Okay.
Exactly.
There's a fucking-
exactly. These looks and this voice, come on.
Right.
He had
Like,
to give me
dude,
something small.
yeah,
Look at my
exactly, man.
personality. It's huge.
If the ego would be nonstop if that was the case.
He would be the alpha.
Oh, yeah.
the alpha. Oh, God.
So glad I'm not going to watch that.
Fucking Amone, 28 Amones later.
Gonna be in a bones later.
Fucking A, dude. But no, okay. So this movie, man, right off the bat, I'm not gonna lie, it fooled me because I thought we were in for a full fucking space movie, and I was ready for it, and it did not deliver on that. But that does not mean it's a bad thing. It's
No.
just what I expected was completely fucking changed because I was like, oh, we're going back to Earth. I was like, I thought we were literally dealing with vampires in space, like
Yeah, this kind of shifts gears like 3 times at least.
hardcore, bro.
Oh, yes.
Like, okay, so you
That's-
have full fucking space movie,
Mhm.
and then you go into full on like investigative detective police styling fucking movie,
Mhm.
then into full on fucking zombie apocalypse. But wait, we're dealing with vampires. What the fuck is going on?
Literally.
Holy
She's a
fucking
Sith
shit.
Lord. I
Like-
told you guys she's a fucking Sith Lord. She used Force Choke and Force Lightning.
Now,
She
I'm
did.
going to throw this question out right there. I'll be the pervert. I don't give a shit. That's fine. My question is, if I was the main dude, what's his name? Scoobs?
Carlson.
Carlson, thank you.
Carson.
I would have been like, listen, I got a different kind of life force that you could try to take, see if that helps out a little bit.
Just don't ever change forms. Stay in this form that you're in.
Yeah,
that you
no,
chose
100%,
for me.
dude. 100%.
I don't need to see Bat Lady.
No,
You're good.
no.
Just stay like this. It's fine.
Just like this.
Not unless I can turn into Bat Dude too. Like if I get that power, then like, okay, you know, whatever.
I have a question about that.
Okay, I wonder if it's going to be similar to the question that I want to know.
Okay.
I didn't, but I
So
gotta hear
at
this.
the beginning of the movie, when they're fucking going down this long vaginal looking fucking tube,
The
right?
ship.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I
And
thought.
he's like,
too.
it feels like I've been in here before. I'm like, well, it looks like a fucking birth canal. Like it looks like fucking Look Who's Talking. It looks like you're inside fucking what was that movie? Inner Space. Like what the fuck is going on here? Right?
All right.
I'm like, cool. Well, maybe he's just like, oh, I feel like I've been here before. Like maybe he's like making a joke because it looks like a birth canal. What the fuck ever. But then she tells him, "You're one of us." Blah blah blah, and then he leaves with her. So what the fuck? Was he one of them or was
so okay? So
I-
they've already been to Earth. It has been noted.
A few times,
So,
yeah.
He
Yeah.
could just
very
be
subtly.
a crazy old bloodline lineage that somehow like it dissipated enough, but it laid dormant. You know what I mean? And then like she like activated it.
And this was this was that one time where it's like, now we're here and we're gonna fuck.
That's
it
why
up.
like I mean that's all I could
That's-
get. I could be just fucking pulling that out of my ass. I
Okay,
don't know.
so that's not the question I was again. The question I had is so she said basically she reached into his mind to find a form that he desired most, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So obviously he desired her in a way, like even deep down his. So if that's what they do, and that spaceship, all but one of them were guys. Why were two of the other vampires dudes?
because maybe one of them was one of those other people were
So you know what's funny? I
Could
okay,
be.
I thought.
And you're probably
no,
Well,
that's not even
that
out of the
was-
realm of speculation, dude. Because literally, that was my one question. Wrote down. I was like, okay, she's seducing all these dudes and everything, no problem. That's understandable. I'm like, does it work on women? What if the dude's gay? What if you know what I mean? Like, what happens then? And I'm like, oh wait, she's got two dudes on backup. That's probably the fucking problem right there. And
If you pay attention to a couple times in the beginning during the investigation, they talk about like homosexuality with the other two, with the men in the building. It was mentioned like twice.
but I don't even know
Very
if it's
quickly.
like
I don't know if it was part of it, but they were talking about it a little bit.
so. And that also depends on like what their species like. Is their species
Yeah.
still male female, and they just turn into the male female of what other species they're like taking on,
That's my thought.
or are they just completely like they formed to whatever the fuck? You know what I mean? Like they're more like morph or something
like
like that.
asexual.
Yeah.
type. Yeah.
You could see that, yeah.
Which I mean, but if they're space bats, which essentially is what the fuck
I would assume it's still
Yeah.
like male female.
Yeah.
like that's
so
why
maybe she was already female, and
Now-
you know she had to choose a female form, and the guys were, the two guys were already male bats, so they had to choose a male form.
So if only three of those were the last three that were survived, and it said that they were giving energy to each other, were they just straight up fucking finger cuffing in there?
They were finger cuffing.
That's like some straight energy transference of like perpetual scale, right? Because it's momentum of back and forth. And I don't know where I'm going with this.
I was gonna say, I'm not
But
gonna
I know-
lie though. When they got that bat
it's being-
species, I wanted to see a dissection scene of that thing.
But there was no way. There was really wasn't any way to dissect them because they were
They
fucking
turned to dust.
Yeah, they turned to dust. You know, which I thought was really fucking cool.
I like.
Now,
yeah, did
I
that.
like that later on we get the explanation of why the bat creatures on the ship that weren't encased in the glass were dust.
Dead. Yeah.
They were dead. At first I'm like, okay, well, they're out in space, and so their bodies are gonna dry out, whatever the explanation was. But then we get to find out later on that if they don't feed, they just turn to dust.
It's not just if they don't feed; they have to feed every 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Which is an insane rate.
That's
dude.
a lot.
Like, holy shit.
And if they've been to Earth before, then dude, that was like a lot of fucking feeding going on.
well, I
I
imagine
think
I figured
I'm
that was the
guessing-
Black Plague, right?
I'm guessing it's
Pretty much.
I'm guessing it's just the people that they suck the life force out of that have to do that because she was probably going way longer than 2 hours.
Yeah,
between
she-
Well, does it
She at the end he
we
also
don't-
says that she was in the cathedral. So was it her,
Right.
or was she just sending out kind of like
yeah,
the
because we
girl
don't
that
know
was in
how
the
many
car? And like that's her feeding, probably, just not her physically doing it.
well, not only that, but we still don't know how many people she fully infected per what the end said,
Yeah,
given the whole fucking like full citywide infection, right? So she was doing business behind the scenes while we were not fucking seeing that
Yeah.
shit.
No, you saw the face that just wasn't her, but she was
my thing is like I didn't take them. Okay, so when we got the first couple like reanimated scenes, which I thought were cool, like I liked the looks of them.
Mhm.
Super cool.
Very
Yeah,
Return
they
of the
were
Living
great.
Dead.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Very much so.
The
I appreciate that.
Which
The
would have come out
eyeballs were
which would have come out right around the same time too.
Yeah.
Ooh, what right? The eyeballs were cool. They looked
Yeah.
weird, like
Fucking
funny,
creepy.
but still cool. Like
You know what? The first guy that got his fucking soul sucked out or whatever the fuck, he reminded me of the skeleton smoker in Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, he's literally got the same exact look.
okay, I can see it.
Like,
Oh,
that's what I saw. I was like,
oh, you say when he's like dehydrated?
yeah.
No, man, I just didn't take them as zombies per se. The way like they still attack. They did the vampiric thing, right? Where like they
Yeah.
still like drew the energy out of their fucking faces and shit.
Them,
But
yes, but at the end they were like.
But at the
full-on
end,
zombies.
they're
Yeah, they
biting
were.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're biting
they
people.
were.
And it's
They
like,
were. They were flesh torn off and
and it's
everything.
like, wait a
Yes.
minute, what the fuck happened? In that,
I think
flip?
that's my guess is that's the difference when they didn't like fully feed off of them.
Which would make sense then.
Because when it said that she was only taking a little bit out of each person, I'm guessing
And you know-
that was the result of that.
That does make sense because too, if you look at vampiric lore, they can make ghouls.
But she could only take. She was only taking the energy out of the ghouls, right? Is that how I was perceiving that? Because it didn't seem like she was taking out of anybody that hadn't been infected, because our main dude Kane would have been hit by that shit too as it was passing over. So I feel like it's only people that hit the vampiric shit, just like our doctor at the end, where he's like, "Oh, I feel it happening," and then his soul flies out the window.
Yeah.
So is it only people that have already kind of gotten soul sucked by the whatever the fuck you want to call them,
I guess.
zombie ghouls? I guess
That's
how I took it.
What
Is
makes
like
sense anyway.
just only because I watched the ending twice, because I was like, I felt like I missed something, and I was just like, I need to watch that last scene again, dude. It's crazy. But it just seemed like the energy ball was almost like yes, it was collecting, but it was only collecting from them sources, and then that's what would explode after the fact, is like when they would pull it out. And I don't know, maybe I saw that wrong, but
I don't know, man. This
I don't know.
movie was just. This movie was so fucking just like off
was
the wall,
nuts. It was
insane, nuts. Like from the get go, there was not a part where I was bored.
No.
you know, the whole time, the only thing I will say, this is my only drawback, is I knew Patrick Stewart was in this. Well, everybody does, because right in the beginning it says fucking Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, where the fuck is Patrick Stewart?
He's only in it for.
He doesn't
For a
even
little bit.
come in until the
20
fucking
minutes,
like
not even?
the last third, maybe
Yeah.
three quarters, whatever. And you're just like, what the fuck, dude? And,
You
you
know,
know,
I thought the effects were really cool, especially like when we
Effects were
see
solid.
these drained corpses,
Oh, they look
and they were
so
so
good.
fucking detailed too. The female corpse had a bush,
Mhm.
Yeah,
a full-on merkin.
That-
Why? Oh, it didn't
Why
need
not?
it.
yeah, she
It
did.
didn't fucking need it. It was a skeleton. Didn't need it. Did not
But it
fucking need
wasn't.
it. It was there.
That person was alive right before that.
Not only that,
But I
just-
like that attention to detail. As stupid
Yeah.
as a fucking detail it is.
So
it's-
I got
it's
a
fun.
kick out of the one scene at the beginning when they find the vampires in the pods, and the one guy remarks, "Oh, she looks perfect to me. I've been in space 6 months. She looks perfect to me."
No,
And,
That is-
and then the
that
girl,
is-
so
no.
the only girl member of the
Yes.
crew looks over at him like, "Excuse the fuck out of me."
she's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck did you just say? To which I gotta say, I even texted these homies as I was watching it. As that scene went down, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? This is 5
ain't
minutes
right.
in,
The
and this dude's
fucking
throwing
look
that
she
kind
gave him.
of this. Thank God
I mean,
they did that. At
she
least, right?
had a
Like,
right
they-
to give that look.
No, they had one person of fucking like semblance just being like, did anybody else hear the fuck that he just say that shit, dude?
Like, did I seriously add nothing to this group?
Like, bro, I know. Listen, man, I know 6 months can feel like a long time, but no, dude. Like,
No.
you don't even know what we're looking at right now, man.
I
It
will
looks
say
human.
also, just in general, this whole movie, as bonkers as it is, visually, it looks great too. I just have to
Oh,
say
yeah.
that. The
It's
colors,
very-
it's it's bright, it's dark, it's in the middle. It's literally got most of the color palette in this whole fucking thing.
Take this how you want. This movie is very British.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
British.
And I don't you can take that as a negative or a
No, no.
positive. That I feel is just a way to explain the movie. It is very British.
Well, I
And
read
if you
somewhere,
know what that means, you'll
Yeah.
understand completely.
Well, I also read somewhere, and I'm sure Chad has this, but I'll say it now that you said that. I mean, Toby Hooper said he wanted to basically make this was his chance to make his Hammer horror film. It has it written everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's
The
written
music
through
is
the whole
also the
fucking
top
movie.
telling thing that this could definitely be a Hammer horror film. The music
Oh, the
itself
music-
tells that.
The music was fantastic.
Oh, the
I
music was
gotta-
great.
Very.
I feel like I gotta watch the
dynamic.
Chad Daddy version because
Okay.
The music
Let
is
me-
we were
different.
having we were having
Okay,
this
so let me
discussion.
ask the version you watched. How did it start? Did it start with like a crawling text or a narration?
Crawling text for me.
narration.
narration. I feel.
Because the
If
crawling
it's
text.
on Tubi, it's a narration.
I think it's
So
narration.
the crawling
No,
text.
I
The
got
crawling
Freaky.
text is on the crawling text is the theatrical version. The narration, which by the way, the narration is John Larroquette.
Yeah.
Yes.
nice.
Oh, so I did not hear him. No, I got a
So you
regular.
saw
Where
the
did you watch
theatrical
it, Bob?
Huh?
Where did you
Freevee.
watch it?
Mine was on
Oh,
Freevee.
okay.
Okay.
No, I'm not complaining on the music. It just was very. It threw me off because
So,
the vibe was
I like
not
how you
the
described it as
67s
swashbuckling.
Hammer
That
horror.
one,
It
hold on
was.
though. That one scene, I went on YouTube, and
to look.
or no, I'm
we're
sorry,
talking the
not
helicopter
YouTube. I
scene?
went to Tubi and I went to the helicopter scene.
Yes.
After
Oh my
watching
God.
the Blu-ray, it's different music.
It is.
Really?
Okay.
It is different music, yes, because it's very swashbuckling.
It is.
Very, like
bro.
I was like, okay, let me close my eyes. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching fucking Pirates of the Caribbean
Yes,
right
100%, dude.
now.
I'm like, there's like, and there's another
part.
part where it was swashbuckly, but in this terms of like Western style
Yes.
swashbuckly.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was just like, ooh, I can envision this scene of a bunch of dudes riding in on horses over a hilltop, and like the shit's about to go. And I'm like, yes, dude. Like this music totally does not fit what the
It
fuck
does
is
not
going
fit, but it
on.
was still fucking.
But it's
so
still
goddamn
was
good.
great music.
Yeah.
So entertaining, and
Oh,
man, we all know I'm a boob man,
Oh, bro.
and I can
Well,
appreciate. I
clearly.
talk about boobies on this
Basically, he's
podcast.
How
I
have
think
we avoided?
Because we've been
elephant in the
trying to
room
be
this far?
gentlemen, Chad.
I'm tired of being a gentleman because holy fucking god damn it.
You're 40 minutes in. You're good. Dude.
If that was not the most perfect pair, I looked over at Mel and I went, those are perfect tits. I love you, but god damn. She's like, oh no, I fucking agree. Like,
You know what? I
Oh my
can't even
God.
argue on that shit, dude. Like,
bro, and then as she's walking away, I was like, oh my god, and she's got the back dimples, perfect fucking thumb placement.
they knew.
So
They
you're
knew when they were
saying
casting,
it
bro.
was just like it's like Friday the 13th 09. You're that guy. You're
I'm that guy.
stupendous.
He's that guy. And they
I
were.
mean, dude.
She was
Yeah.
gorgeous, man. Like she was gorgeous. Like
Like
all
my-
pervertedness aside, she was probably one of the most attractive actresses that we've gotten in a movie. Now there's been a lot of attractive.
Yeah.
But
no,
this,
it's different.
her eyes, just her facial features. She was very,
the pouty lips.
This is
she was
Salma
very
Hayek in
elf-like.
Dusk Till Dawn.
very elf-like.
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially.
And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. She was fucking gorgeous. She was gorgeous.
What
And
Scoobs
she's
is
still
saying
gorgeous.
is the world would have been fucked if any.
The
four of
world
us
would.
were-
I text the boys. Okay, look, because there's a part at the end where the vampire tells Carlson, "Come with me," and I text the boys. I said, "You know what? World would have been fucked because I've been like, okay,
Let's
Okay,
go.
bye.
let's go, bye guys, bye."
I don't
Like
like.
I said, and
I
we
don't
would all
even-
be sitting there just like this. You're good. Don't worry. We get it. Yeah, that's fine.
She doesn't even need vampiric powers, dude. She literally
Mm-hmm.
could just walk around doing her thing, acting the way she is, and most men are gonna fucking trip the fuck up.
No joke.
I'm like,
Like-
look, you want to go take people's energy, baby. You go do you.
I
I don't care
only-
what form. I don't care what form you take. Just don't let me see it. As long as you come back like this, we're good. We're good. Just don't lose the back dimples. Stay. Just. I don't need to see Batgirl. You know, you want to turn into some weird blob creature to fuck you. You do that out of my out of my sight. I'm gonna be here in the ship. You go. You know what? I'll be fine. You go. Bring me back a little bit of energy. We're good. We're good, baby. Go have fun. Bye.
I'll make dinner while you're
Love
gone.
you.
So let's talk about this.
Okay, just
How
for
we-
a second.
Oh, go ahead.
Just for a second. So Scuba Steve's little rant right there, like I could 100% hear Eddie Murphy saying that exactly like that.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah, that could work.
Like that Eddie Murphy's review would be that right there.
So we talked about this movie like jumping from this to that to something else with space, and so right now, kind of in the middle, we're in that detective. We're trying to figure it out, what she's doing, blah blah blah. But it's like it's so much more detective because like this, our main dude's having like psychic premonitions, so he's like, it's kind of that.
Now he's a psychic detective.
Yeah. So
He was totally a psychic detective too. 'Cause
He
look at how
was.
he handled the whole thing with the fucking nurse. Because he's like reading her mind. He's like, she's a fucking masochist. She
So
likes
this
it.
is-
she
and that
wants
is-
me to hit her.
this is exact thing. I was literally leading into that scene with all this because in the midst of all this, we get this fucking scene, dude. Now, this scene I
Oh.
took some notes on because I was like, what in the fuck is happening here, dude? I rewound it and a couple times just because I was like, excuse me. So our vampire chick, she can meld mind jump into other bodies, inhabit
Yes.
them.
And get energy
And-
while
and-
doing that.
Right. And do her thing. And so she picks a very attractive redhead nurse and she's doing her thing. And man, when we get to her and our site and our main guy does his, first of all, a lot of the news is dropped in 10 seconds. He tells us that she's a masochist. As
Wait. Before he even says that,
go
he
ahead.
has already proceeded to slap the taste
Yes.
right
Yeah.
the fuck out of her mouth.
Yes.
Unprovoked.
Which
yes.
the detective Kane kind of was like, whoa, a little bit.
But
Like he
then
didn't stop him,
no,
but then
then-
It was 85.
But then he looked at her and he was like, no, man, she likes it.
Look, man,
He didn't say it exactly like that.
but then
it was a different time. A little domestic abuse back then.
But
It was
in the
different.
but
same
then the detective
fucking breath, the
goes
detective literally says, hold on, I fucking wrote it down here.
say
Don't
it.
worry,
Natural vo-
I'm a natural voyeur.
And he
Just
just
sits
he
sits
just sits
down
back
in
and
the fucking
watch.
pose, bro.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
in the
He's a
fuck?
cook. He was a cook.
he's like, it's
And
okay.
we-
I like to watch.
Let's digest this scene just for 1
That's-
second.
That
'Cause
was
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's a lot, dude.
a lot.
What?
But you know,
Wow.
I will say when we found out that she can body jump
That was cool.
and we
That
saw
was cool.
this new body that she chose, I was a little disappointed.
I wasn't.
I was a little
I was
saddened.
I was,
I was
she still cute.
not.
No,
Yeah. It's not the same, but I am not. I was not disappointed.
Hey, just think she also chose Patrick Stewart.
She
Yeah.
did. She
Yeah,
just
that was the
chose a
biggest.
sexy
That was the
bald
biggest
man.
downfall.
Says you.
Sir Ian McKellen would beg to differ.
Yeah,
That's
well,
fucking right.
I was like, no,
How-
not Professor X.
I want-
Okay, I don't
didn't
know
do
how
the
old
math.
he was in this.
Yes.
But this movie's 40 fucking years old, and Patrick Stewart looks exactly the fucking same as he does now. He's a fucking vampire. He's a goddamn energy vampire. And there's nothing.
He got it from
nobody can
he
do.
got it from
Fucking
this
take
movie.
my mind, because he looks exactly the fucking same. His hair was the same color. He had the same fucking wrinkles. He does not change.
I was
40
waiting.
years.
I was
40
waiting for that.
Fucking
You
years.
did not.
He
I was
looks
waiting. Been waiting for
exactly-
somebody to mention that.
Exactly the fucking same. How? How the fuck? How the fuck? How? What?
It's this
You know
movie.
what? He's
Scoops,
got to be
it's this-
90.
it's-
He's got
it's
to be
this
90
movie.
right now.
It's
How
all the
old
energy.
is
It's all the energy
Patrick.
stealing on this movie and the cocaine behind the
No.
scenes. I'm telling
He's
Look up-
84 years old. He was a year older than me. He was a year older than me in this movie.
He was
And he looks
44.
exactly the same. I'm not going to look like this in 40 years, and it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
You're not British.
So he's 44 in this?
He's 40 fucking
Wow.
I
You know
like
how
it.
I'm gonna look in 40 years? I'm gonna look like the victims after they got their soul sucked out. That's me. In 40. I'm gonna be dead as a doornail in 40
Let's say
years.
I'm gonna show a fucking just a picture of a fucking tombstone. Like, yeah, that's me.
I'm
Here's
I'm
me in
gonna
40
have
years.
pieces of flesh ripped off my face. That's how I'm gonna go.
In
Thank you for
40
that,
years,
Scoops.
You're gonna be like
That-
Oh
50.
my god! I looked
Exactly.
over
I'll be like
and Mel
falling
goes,
apart still.
Mel goes, how old is he? I said, I don't fucking know, but he looks exactly the fucking same. Like he has not
he
changed.
he looked a little smoother. I'll give him that.
Just a little
But-
bit, but not
but
by
the
He
much.
was
hair,
it was
dude,
just
like,
shiny. He
when
looked
did he go-
shinier.
When did that man start going bald?
I've never even
At birth.
seen a picture of fucking Patrick Stewart.
Right at
And
birth.
he wasn't bald or didn't have gray hair.
His
Never
hair
seen
never
it.
grew in.
Never
You
seen
know what?
He
I'm
maybe
going
it
to
never
be a
did.
detective
pattern
now.
baldness.
He grew up looking like that, and that's
mean,
how he's
even
going to
ki-
be forever.
Even Jason Alexander had hair up to 24. Oh
which-
man,
Okay,
I know
this is
Gene
fu-
does
this
look
is
like
weird.
Jesus, man. Like fucking.
I feel like this is a lie, and he's wearing a wig.
Would you find a picture with him with hair?
Yes,
Send
Is
it
he
to the
like-
group.
10
No,
years
look.
old.
this
Oh, God.
is in his 20s.
Oh man. What?
Oh God, that's just so not right.
That looks like a wig.
That looks like a wig.
That is Rod Serling.
Fucking Patrick Stewart, circa 1963.
That
Wait, scroll back up. Fucking looks like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Jesus.
Look at that one.
Christ.
what?
Whoa,
Like
is
Jesus?
he's playing
Is
Jesus.
Native American.
Is it?
Okay.
Look,
Yo, that man hanging low.
But look at those pecs. Look at that.
yeah, he was fucking.
Seriously.
He
Look at
was,
this.
He was svelte.
Whoa! Look at those locks, dude. Why is he in
The
tiny
locks?
whities? Anyway,
Don't know, but the bulge says it all.
for everything that we're
Why
looking
you-
at, just
Oh,
go
come on, like
Bobby.
you didn't look.
Bobby's. I did not look, Bob. Bobby's just trying to see if he's got competition or not. That's why Bobby looks.
It's okay if I do. It's Patrick Stewart. If Patrick Stewart said, I'm bigger, I'd be like, sir, you are the biggest of them all. It's okay.
Man, no, this movie, dude, was a full-on fucking trip. And
And the
like,
way he dies, the
who?
way he finally.
Oh, I
got fucking
love
Patrick
that.
Stewart.
So not only him, but the other guy, like,
The other guy too. Well, the other guy was.
Well, he
already
was dead already.
He was dead
But-
already.
but
But
the
they
fact
fucking
that,
turned
like,
into the
she-
blood. They
Yeah.
turned
Oh,
into the
oh my
blood,
God, that's
the
such
blood
a
girl.
Such
I
one of
still
my
would have
favorite scenes.
smashed. I told you boys, I'd still hit. I don't care if she's made out of blood. I'd still do it. She was still hot.
I
Like
loved
said,
it 'cause-
look at her at 60. Look at her at 60.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
smoking hot.
I love seeing the blood being pulled from their faces.
And it was
Beautiful.
such a cool effect.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, because that was that
cool.
like where it's shot one way, but it's played like two ways back or some
Yeah.
shit.
So I will say there's for me, there was only one scene that looked very fucking cheesy, and it was at the beginning when they're floating in the spacesuits.
Oh yeah. No, that's fair.
That is the only scene to me.
They're not moving at all. They're just stiff.
Yeah,
as
they're just-
fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris style coming at the fucking
Like fucking
yeah,
like
exactly.
Jaws 3D. The shark's not even moving. It's just like, what?
but other than that,
that's because they had the little propulsion things too. So
yeah, no, true. But
like it
but,
even showed them using that.
but it just looked, and I'm sure at the time it looked fucking great, but it didn't age well. But other than that, every other effect in this movie,
Look,
you boys know, and I say it every time, I am a sucker for practical effects. I loved it. Even though the lightning really wasn't a practical effect per se, it still looked cool as shit. It looked fine. It didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel like, oh my God, here we go with the shitty fucking effect. It
Dude.
worked for this movie.
That fucking scene where they had Patrick Stewart, his character, under hypnosis, and they were talking to him
on the table.
on the
yeah.
table, and then it just starts going crazy, and there's all
Oh,
that
that was-
shit just flying around behind them.
That was
I was
great.
watching that like that had to have been extremely difficult to pull off, moving that many individual objects.
And it was probably done on a stage where they could either rotate it or everything was on wires. It's one of the two because that's a lot going on.
It almost had to have been wires.
Or both.
And you couldn't see no wires.
Yeah, you
I did
couldn't.
look.
I also like how he gave him the double dose at the end of that shit.
Yeah,
Like, Jesus
fucking-
Christ, dude, you're gonna fucking just
He got four. He got
Freddy
four
versus
sh-
Jason.
He got four
Kane
shots
wa-
of that shit. He got 4 shots of that shit.
Colonel Kane was a badass in this.
And you know
movie.
what? I feel
Loved
bad
it.
for that fucking orderly that just walked in at that moment when everything's flying
Yeah,
around.
he's
He's just
Because to him-
standing there.
To him, That's a fucking exorcism going on right there.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what
He's
the fuck's
standing
going
there,
on.
jaw dropped.
They didn't tell
bewildered.
him shit.
Even the better
Nope.
part is
I
he
thought
does
the
that.
same thing.
He comes in, he sees his boss on the table as this dude's talking, like yelling at him to like leave him alone, and then makes out with him as this shit's flying.
Yeah,
the
'cause
fuck
It was
around.
a peck.
And it just
They didn't
keeps
make
going.
out. It
Yeah,
was
because
just a peck.
Carlson sees her, and everybody else just sees Patrick Stewart laying.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I
like
like how fast they stop him too. They're like, no.
I feel like they were holding back. They were just like, is he gonna do it? Like, like they were like everybody else watching this movie. They were like,
I'm
are they
disgusted.
That was
gonna?
Kane.
I'm disgusted, yet intrigued.
Right.
That
like,
was
I can't
Kane
look
being the
away.
voyeur that he said he was
He's
going to
like-
be. He's like,
He's
I
like,
gotta
fuck, I don't have
see
a
how this
chair to
is gonna
sit down in.
How's this gonna
Ah.
go?
He's
Did
just
the
leaning
movie
against
all
the
make
wall.
us? Did the movie just make us all voyeurs like Kane, dude? Fucking like, no.
But I did like the scene with the two guys when they find that first body in the park, and they're talking to the two guys, and they're like,
Oh, the
"We basically, pretty
Yeah,
much
we
what they said to sum up. We saw two naked chicks, and we just wanted to see if they were going to go down on each other." Pretty
Which,
much
you
what
know,
they fucking said.
you know
That's
what?
literally what he said, being nice about it.
Fair.
Fair as fuck.
Like
Fair as
those,
fuck.
those dudes are like 19-year-old dudes.
Yeah. And they look fucking
100%,
30
dude.
years old. Let's
Yeah,
just,
so you got to wonder, like, to get this girl, did she have to like somehow seduce her too?
She seduced her. She did. She
oh,
seduced her.
definitely.
But that's the thing. I don't think it matters if you're male or female.
No, I just think
The
it's
power
No,
of
because they have the
seduction-
mind control.
Exactly.
It's
The power of
whatever
seduction
they can do
that
with
she
it.
has, it's like amplified. And I love that because
Well,
in every
yes
vampire,
or no, though, because when the dudes were definitely trying their thing on the security guards, and they were like, "Fuck this shit, dude!" Just fucking mowing them down, even through grenades.
but I think
Now,
it's
granted, it
because
didn't
she
work.
was more powerful.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
she's the
definitely
queen,
like the
right?
leader,
Like that's
yeah.
She's
that's what we
she's
think it is.
essentially the queen. So I feel like her powers were way more, and she's fed more than the other two guys. So their powers weren't as strong as hers.
Well,
Yeah.
plus there's some whatever reason like she's got to be the transference to the ship. So, yeah, like why that makes her the more powerful being, or maybe she does that because she already is the more powerful being. I don't fucking know.
Now, at the end, when they do that transference to the ship and we see other pods, like the
Yeah, did the vampires win?
I think they did.
What the?
I think they won.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
they?
thinking. See, my thought was, all the energy, is that used to power the ship, or is that bringing them all the fuck back to life?
I think it's bringing them all the fuck back because
I would
that's what
say
I assumed.
It's both.
Yeah,
Right.
I would agree with John. It's more like both, probably.
I was thinking like, and I know obviously well after the fact, but like Van Helsing with the fucking thing where he brings all his kids to fucking life with you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the ship, their power generator. But like, even though he stabbed them, that like energy that was coming out of them, they made it up to the ship, and the ship clearly powered up and fucking took off. So that's why I was just like, wait,
But
did the vampires fucking win the whole time? Like, what the fuck just happened, dude?
Basically,
Maybe
yes.
I'm going to say they won, but I'm going to think everybody who that was a thing is probably dead because that energy definitely changed after he stabbed them a little bit, though.
Yeah, but does it though? Or is the remnants? And that's why we had the original stories of vampires, because now you're gonna have potentially, you know what I mean? Like,
So Haley's
Yeah,
comet,
maybe.
Haley's comet comes every what did they say?
76 or 77
76 years. It's every 76 years. So did they come 76 years prior?
Probably.
That's my guess.
So 85,
which would have
Yeah.
been
19.
early 1900s.
1901.
19, yeah. That'd be
And
about
when-
1911.
and when's
1911,
Bram Stoker?
1910.
When was Bram Stoker written? 1917 or earlier?
No, that was.
Oh,
It was
what am I thinking?
1800s. Yeah.
No, I'm
late
thinking fucking-
1880s.
But the
What am I
next
thinking of?
Haley's comet is in 2061.
I'll be long dead.
It's in 40 years.
I'll be long
30
dead.
some years. 30 some years.
I might make it. Probably not.
I'll make it. I'm gonna make it.
Say Bob's gonna be good.
You guys will make it too. I don't want to hear that. I need
Dude,
my
I'll
boys
be
here
just a
forever.
couple years shy of 90.
It's okay. Who said
Nobody in my
anything?
family lives that long.
say that's a good run. That's a good run.
Yeah, you don't want to go past
Not,
that. 'cause
not
my
only will I
grandma,
be, Not
My
only will
grandma's
I,
96 now, and she's like, I'm done. I'm fucking
dude,
done.
not only will I be almost 90, I'll be so old that I'll be like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about Comet.
So wait.
No,
Do I
but
have
my
do
point
I
was-
have permission then to turn you into nubbins?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll be dead.
He's be dead. Who gives a
Okay, that's
fuck?
all I. No, but I need permission before I do it.
My point is that if they wanted to do a sequel to this movie, wait until 2061 to give us a fucking sequel to this. Granted, I'll be dead. I won't be able to see it, but
Couldn't we just set it in the year 2061?
could.
You
Like,
could.
we could just do it so we can see it now.
Yeah.
Let's just set it.
Bring
Oh,
her
then
back.
we're gonna have future space vampires.
Which that would be wicked looking. I would
I don't
then
know,
at
man.
that point still like to see a little bit more of the bats, just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
No,
so-
was there
so to
shit
answer-
comet,
so to-
or did they ride the comet?
I think they were just hiding in the comet.
They were
Okay.
hiding in it.
So to answer your question from before about whether the bat form had to have been their true form, because when he stabbed the last remaining male vampire,
Yeah,
He turned
went
into
from
a bat.
turned into a bat.
Which what the fuck was he using? Was that a sword?
It was a
or was that
fucking
like
sword. No, it was
Yeah,
a
it was a
goddamn
sword.
sword.
That
was a
was a
sword.
sword.
But the handle looked really
Which I
big,
want.
didn't it?
The
I
handle
want-
looked- you know what
where
the
did
handle looked
Doctor
like?
Get that thing from.
The handle looked like the cosmic key from Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Like a
It
lot
did.
like it.
It did. Which makes
Like,
sense because one of the writers for Masters of the Universe wrote this fucking movie.
I don't know. I
But
couldn't
hear
tell
me
if it
out.
was a sword or if it was supposed to be like a spear, like an end of a spear or something.
I
was
think
like,
that's what it was
fuck is-
supposed to be, but
I
it
don't-
ended up looking like a fucking sword.
Listen,
But
I don't
because
know
the way
what-
he's like holding it, I'm like,
they said
like
they
he-
needed
like-
lead to kill them, right?
Leaded
Lead-
iron.
yeah.
let it iron. Yeah.
Leaded iron to kill them. Wouldn't bullets fucking do the job?
Yes.
So when they were fucking shooting them in the fucking,
Yeah, but they might have not been hitting.
They weren't
them
hitting
in
the right spot.
they
Remember
were
when
hitting
he?
all over.
They just shot them
No,
in
no,
the
no,
chest.
no. Because when Kane shot the doctor, he shot him in that spot, and then he went down and fucking died. Remember? Because that's all of a sudden
I
he came
know,
up.
but
He's all
when they were
sweaty and
fucking
shit, he's
shooting
like,
them with those fucking automatic rifles, there was
yeah, but they were
gunshots
shooting them all in the
over.
chest and shit, dude. That didn't fucking matter. Like,
Well, but just also remember, not all bullets are made of lead. Some are made of copper. Some are made of different materials. So not everything is lead. So that could be defunct.
Yeah,
with
see, I'm
that.
gonna lead. I don't know, man.
Yeah, fellow for a lad, see?
I'm just saying, there's no way those security guards did not aim at one of those vampire dudes' dicks. while
I
they're coming at him.
Fucking
right, I would've.
Right,
Like, watch it.
No, no.
Oh, see, you're looking
away.
at that
Fuck.
one, but you're not looking at
Oh,
Patrick
fuck.
Stewart's bulge. I see how it
Now,
is.
now all I can think of is Triceracop in fucking Kung Fury, shooting everybody in the dick.
Fuck yeah.
That's the way to go, dude.
I've never seen that.
But no, all in all,
You've
I
never
think
seen
this
Kung
was-
Fury.
bro. You got to watch it.
No, I
It's
actually
30
haven't.
minutes
It's
of
the best.
30 minutes of
awesomeness.
awesomeness.
It's the best.
But all in all, I think this movie was very entertaining. I
was a
didn't
fun
know.
time.
I did not know what to expect. I've never seen it. Every time
Yeah.
Chad brought it up and said the name, it reminded me of this one movie. Just the name, because I never knew the name of this movie that I watched as a kid one time.
Hey, Molly.
and I
Hello.
thought,
Hi, Molly.
how's it going, Molly? I thought that this movie was that movie, and I was so glad that it was not that movie, because the movie I thought that this movie was this movie I saw where the dude gets bit in the hand by like a fucking space snake or something, and then like his hand turns into a fucking snake and starts killing people. I don't know what the fucking movie's called. Haven't seen it
Excuse
since
me?
I was a kid, but I thought that's what this was. And I'm glad it wasn't, because this movie was fucking awesome.
That
No,
sounds
this
like
was-
the
this
Curse
was
2,
fun.
The Bite.
It might be that.
This
Space
movie
snake.
was 100%.
Yeah, there was like a
fun.
snake or something that bit the dude in the
Oh.
hand.
So how funny is it? Until you mentioned about the movie poster and realizing that that's an eye above the earth,
Mhm.
I've been looking at that poster for damn near 40 years and not realizing that.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, it's a fucking eye.
I thought it was a spaceship too.
Are you talking about the one behind us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word. Nice. Let's see. Is there anything else you boys want to discuss?
No,
If
let's hear
not,
from
we can
Brody.
bring
No,
Brody.
I want to hear Brody on this.
Alrighty. Mr. Brody Kane.
Well, howdy fucking duty there, folks. It's your Kanga Banger back for another episode of Gore, and this week I'm here to talk to you about Lifeforce. Lifeforce was a film that I'd seen throughout the horror community for quite some time and never really got a chance at actually sussing it out until now, of course. And I'll tell you what, I went in with low expectations, extremely low expectations, to be honest, and I come out actually pleased by the end of this film. But yeah, it's definitely one of them good bad movies. And when I say it's a good bad movie, I still say it's a really good fucking movie, but you can definitely tell it's a B movie that you can really enjoy. Well, for me personally. So what I really enjoyed about this the most out of the whole viewing experience of Lifeforce was the massive overall, not world building. Well, it kind of is, but the biggest grand scheme of things. Because I honestly thought this was going to be a very low budget movie in space. But no, we end up on Earth and all these events start happening. There's a lot unfolding throughout this film. But it makes sense to a degree, but there is a lot fucking happening, and it kind of gets a little bit jarring at times. But in saying that, I can dig it because it definitely kept me entertained. There was like they were throwing in zombies here and there. There was a death every now and then. They're throwing in interesting ideas of space vampires that also have the motives of an original vampire, but they expand a little bit more on that sense of like doing something a little bit different. And I could appreciate what this film was trying to do, with these vampires, something a little bit unique and fresh. How they're sort of a mind hive, which I really dug. So obviously there was a lot of entertainment value to keep me intrigued from start to finish. I mean, like normally I talk about the runtime of a film, and this does come in at roughly around 2 hours, but I'm not even mad with that. Like I said to Chad, I wish there was a little bit more to the ending. It sort of just ends, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I kind of wanted a little bit more. Anyway, it has like practical effects that I love. The body horrors there. It definitely feels like a combination of 3 different scripts sort of cut and morphed into one.
Yeah.
Yet I'm not upset about it. And it definitely feels like a mixture of genres just sort of mashed into like the horror, sci-fi, action.
Space,
and I can really dig it for what this type of premise is and this world that they're building. I also forgot to mention the amount of tit we see in this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So the CGI is a little bit of a letdown in this type of film, but you got to expect that. It's a film from 1985, probably filmed in 1984. So it's definitely a product of its time. I can't fault it for that. It just adds more charm and character to what the film actually represents on screen. To see that shit unfold, I was like, damn, that's actually pretty cool. I wish I kind of had seen this shit as a kid. Even the storytelling, I liked how they were sort of able to give us a bit of the story, go forward, and then come back to tell us a little bit more lore of what's been happening in those moments that we have missed. I've got to give the production design a massive shout out. Those interior shots of the spaceship, were actually really fucking cool to see.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, to be blindsided by this type of film, not expecting it to what I thought it was going to be, and it just turned out to be a lot better than what I thought it was. That sort of speaks volumes to me, because never judge a book by its fucking cover. This is definitely one for me that I shouldn't have done. But at the end of the day, me doing that made me love this film even fucking more. So it's a blessing in disguise. Bit of a catch-20 fucking 2.
There you go.
The acting in this movie was pretty damn decent. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, all in all, I am going to give this a Gore score of a... Fuck it, I'll give it a 4.
Yes. All right.
Surprisingly, I enjoyed this movie for what it was.
Okay.
In saying that, this is your Kanga Banger signing out. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this movie, and I'll catch you motherfuckers next week. So cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, Brody.
Cheers, Brody. Thank you.
Cheers,
I am
Thank
very
you so much
happy
for
by
that.
that.
I mean, dude, he's not wrong, because I felt the same way. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't go in with a negative, but I just went in with like, I don't know, dude. Literally, the only thing I know is space vampires.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we fucking go. And while it did change up the fucking playbook on us a few times, he's not wrong, man. It held your attention.
It was
solid all the way, dude.
Never bored.
I was like with John. I went and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is, and then I went and I got three movies in one, and I'm not disappointed.
Dude, I gotta say, it's probably a good thing I never watched this movie as a kid, because I would have been watching this movie way too much as a kid.
Way too much as a kid.
Uh-huh.
So
But
you're
boys,
saying
that old VHS.
With that being said, I unfortunately have to hop off. I just wanted to be on here for a little bit, but I got to go make Mel her birthday dinner.
Can I get a
Before I
score?
go, I'm
Can I
going to
get
give you a score.
Yeah.
But before I give you the score, I'm
Okay.
going to answer my question. Would I fucking bought this as a kid? Yes. Am I glad I bought this? Yes, the fuck I am. I am glad that I own this. I'm reshelving it. I'm rewinding it. I want a
yeah.
fucking reboot. Give me a
I do
sequel.
too.
Oh,
A
by the way,
good.
Yeah.
just throwing this out there, it is available now on 4K instead.
Oh.
And,
I am actually putting
not-
it in a cart right now.
Do not buy the Scream Factory 4K because you only get the theatrical cut in 4K. Import the Arrow video version, you get both of them in 4K.
Sweet.
Oh, Arrow has it. Oh,
But
Arrow has it.
thank you, Chad Daddy, for picking this movie. Like I said,
you like it.
like Brody said, it's one that I've seen out there. I never watched it, didn't have any intention in watching it, but I'm glad that you did pick this one. And if I could give it a super high score, I would.
Give it,
I'm
gave it a super high score.
I'm gonna give it, and I'm sorry, I gotta be honest with myself, and be honest with how much I enjoyed this movie. I'm giving it a 4.5.
Whoa.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So with that, love you
Thank you.
boys. I will see you
Love you,
next
bro.
week for, I think next week is
Next
one of
week's your
Brody's picks. So
Yes.
No.
yes.
No.
Next week is your pick. As above, so below.
Oh, fuck.
Ah.
Seen that.
Well, we'll see how that
I
goes.
have.
See you boys next week. Love you guys.
See you,
I'll be
buddy.
watching in the kitchen.
Later.
Love you, buddy.
We'll be
buddy.
here, brother. Love you.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Happy birthday, Mel.
All righty. So that is a 4 from Brody and a 4.5 from Scuba. If you didn't catch it, obviously Scuba's lovely wife has a birthday, and he is going to make her some delicious dinner. That being said, we are going to continue our conversation, and I feel like we've discussed quite a bit, and I know Chad Eddie has a fuck ton of notes.
I do, and I didn't realize there was this much behind the scenes on this movie. But I can't be surprised. It's Tobe Hooper. He's a well-known and well-respected filmmaker.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you the reins, buddy, and
Yeah, go
let
for
you go
it.
with it.
All right, so I'll cut and pick and choose. So
Yeah.
Matilda May had rubber soles glued to the bottom of her feet in order to avoid cutting them during the scene in which she walks out of the building after breaking the glass windows.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
For her audition as Space Girl, which that's the only name we are ever giving for her throughout
That's
the
what
movie.
even the fucking closed
That's-
captions say, dude.
That's
It's
what it
hilarious.
says. Yeah.
Yep. She had to learn her lines phonetically because she didn't know any English at the time. In fact, when she was asked to disrobe, she excused herself to call her manager first, afraid that she was auditioning for a pornographic movie. It wasn't until she was assured that it was for a science fiction movie that she relented. During the 6 months that she spent in London on this movie, she learned how to speak English and even picked up a London accent.
Damn.
Ah.
And you know what? I could completely understand her suspicions.
Yes.
On what they
on
were,
every level.
yes, on what they were auditioning her for.
But she does speak English extremely well now, by the way. There's
Nice.
there's
Oh,
an interview
sure.
with her on the Scream Factory disc.
Awesome,
Okay.
dude.
So Tobe Hooper's director cut was 2 hours and 8 minutes. Then the movie was cut down to 1 hour and 56 minutes. The cuts being mostly scenes set on the spaceship Churchill. The original unedited European version contains more violent and erotic footage, which TriStar Pictures cut from the domestic U.S. version. It also
Ooh.
contains the full Henry Mancini score in place of the occasional Michael Kamen's music cues placed at the last minute for U.S. prints. This version is now available on video and runs 1 hour and 56 minutes. I do have a whole rundown of all the extras at the bottom of this list. I'll get to that.
Oh, no shit. Nice.
Okay.
So Tobe Hooper came up with the idea of using Halley's Comet in the screenplay rather than the asteroid belt as originally used in the novel, as the comet was going to pass by Earth 1 year following this movie's release. Yes, this, by the way, this is based on a book. Actually, the title of the book is Space Vampires.
Yeah, it says it right in the beginning of the credits.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Which, is it loosely based on, or is it? Okay.
The author of the book hates this movie.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't like it at all.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the book's like then.
I don't know, but I have it saved to my list on.
Give it to
Amazon.
me in a graphic novel, and I will totally read that shit. Anyways,
I think it's only a little over 100 pages long. It's not a very long book.
I might be able to do it. I'm terrible with reading, dude. I get too
Same.
distracted.
Same. It's our ADHD.
Right? It's like, wait, did I read that page? I think I read that page. I don't know. Let me go back and
You
read
gotta
that.
reread it.
Yep. Got to read that paragraph fucking 8 fucking times because I don't remember if I fucking read it.
When I was in my 20s, I would try reading The War of the Worlds, and I'd
Ugh,
fall asleep reading it
why?
every time. And then I'd wake up the next day and I'm like, all right, let's pick up where I left off. I'm like, I don't fucking remember any of this. I have to go back like a chapter because I was
Yes. All the fucking time. And I'm
Yeah.
like, half the time I'm rereading the shit I already fucking read to try to remember what the fuck I read. I'm like, I can't do that shit.
Yep.
It doesn't-
I've gotten better
No.
with my reading, so I can't relate no more.
No, give me talk bubbles and action squares, dude.
Fair though, totally fair.
Patrick Stewart has said several times that Tobe Hooper was his favorite director to work with.
That's very wonderful to hear.
That's
Honestly.
That is.
big,
That's very big.
especially for the amount of shit he's done.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to love this part. So Tobe Hooper once revealed that in the early stages of shooting, they waxed Matilda May's pubic hair off completely, thinking it would make her look less nude. It didn't. In fact, it was worse because then her vulva was exposed, making her look even younger. So they had her grow a bikini strip of pubes back. May had to frequently remove her pants and panties to allow Hooper to inspect her. Makeup artist Sandra Exelby talked about an interview. Here's what she said. We had this big discussion about Matilda May. He said, I want all her body hair off. And I said, you can't do that. She's a young girl. At the time, she was 18. 90% of the film, she was on camera nude while walking about. You cannot take all the body hair away. He said, well, I want the pubic hair as short as possible and lighten it up. I don't really want to see it. So every morning, she was on her knees trimming and coloring it to make it look perfect. In some cases, she didn't actually cut it, but simply sprinkled more hairs cut from wigs around to satisfy Hooper.
What the fuck, bro?
I will never
First of
speak
all-
ill of the dead, but I need to know how much was on that set with some of this with Hooper. Like, and he's a great director. I love him. He's directed some of my favorite, but goddamn.
Yeah, but that sounds questionable.
Like,
Because, like, listen, man, I get artistic direction and shit like that,
of course,
and
yeah.
vision.
Okay, well,
But at a certain point, like, I don't know, man. If you just don't like Bush, that's cool. But like, why can't a vampire? Like, why couldn't she have some Bush, dude? Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? That's just, especially because it's like, if it's, I mean, it's, I don't know. It's 85. I was just born, so I can't say anything on this matter. But you know, I would assume that if she pulled the image from what's his name's brain, you know, he's thinking about some Bush sometimes.
thinking about some Bush.
Yeah.
They didn't really shave as much back then. It was
No, dude, that
That's
was like a
true.
90s thing, dude. And
Yeah,
even the
that-
90s was more the trim than the full like bald was like 2000s, right? Like
yeah.
90s
pretty
was the landing
much.
strip, dude. The fucking but
Okay, continue.
yeah.
Matilda May,
The random
Yeah.
Bush sidebar.
Matilda May has only 7 minutes of screen time. Most of these scenes she plays totally nude, while in some she's covered only by a robe. By contrast, due to censorship rules that forbade full male nudity, Chris Jagger and Bill Malin, the male vampires, had to be filmed wearing flesh-colored socks over their genitals in case they were inadvertently picked up by cameras.
So why can't they show peen? Was that a British thing or was that what? Like,
Probably,
I think it was.
definitely.
that's weird because you figure like the British would be more like
No,
open to it.
no.
No.
Are you kidding me? Have you ever seen their video nasties list? They wanted half
Yeah,
those
that's
movies gone.
Yeah, that's violence, dude. But look
But-
at
but
fucking like
It was
Life
no,
of
it was
Bri-
more. It was all kinds of
But
things.
It was
Look at Life-
everything.
yeah, but okay, but on the flip side, look at shit like even Life of Brian, you see fucking dick. So why wouldn't you be able to see dick in this?
I don't know.
He does have a point.
Yeah,
He
so
does have a point.
There you
So
go.
that could have been the American censors.
That's why
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
because TriStar at the time, they were really not known for kind of this kind of movie. So they were probably like, you got to keep that out.
I mean, once again, also not tons of movie even then,
Well,
like Hang Dong, right?
yeah.
So
And if
okay,
it did, if you saw a cock in the movie, it was almost always an automatic X. Almost always.
I mean, see Arnold's. And
Except
in
except for Terminator,
But
you
back-
see it swing.
you see it flopping in there a little bit. Fucking darkness.
Let's see.
Fucking A, dude. No, I mean, I don't know. I would just think of like when I always think of like British films or like European films, I feel like they would be more open on the end of like showing male nudity, where like that would totally make sense if TriStar did that and they were like, yeah, no, edit that. They're like, we don't need to see no cock in this movie. We
I
want
could see
just
that.
tits.
Although,
Like-
listen, the British were very funny in the 80s when it came to movies, whether dong or not.
No,
They were
no,
very funny when it came to that
I
shit.
will not disagree with you on that. 100%, man. That is just there's some weird shit. But that is also just like sometimes that's just like those weird entities that start that shit. You know what I mean? It's not the entirety of the country or whatever. But anyways, Chad Daddy, back to you, brother.
The dummies used as desiccated corpses were also used in The Mummy in 1999.
Oh, no shit. Oh, that's
what?
cool. That's cool.
That's fucking awesome.
So I'm guessing
Kind of
that's
gave me those
that-
vibes a little bit.
so those reanimated mummy priests were these
That,
things.
and I'm thinking maybe like when Emotep first woke up, because I know it was CGI, but I know they had a little practical under, like it was like superimposed. I want, that's fucking cool. That's cool that they sat around that long for that to be fucking reused.
And
like
yeah,
that.
they were still viable.
decent. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
impressive.
Cool.
Colin Wilson, the author of the original book, The Space Vampires, very much disliked this film, with his verdict being, well, at least there's lots of full frontal nudity.
Well, he's not wrong. I kind of want to read his book, though. I wonder if I can find it on an audiobook. Bet I can.
I don't know about audiobook.
No, you don't think so?
I don't know.
Take a look.
Frank Finlay was not allowed to use a German accent for his role because Matilda May, who'd never acted in English, was using his voice as a guide in how to act in English. Likewise, Michael Gothard was not allowed to do a German accent for the same reason.
Huh.
So I think that's cool that they had to use an English accent so she could learn how to use it.
That's kind of cool.
Indeed.
Let's see. For the shot of Space Girl walking up the stairs naked, shadows were added in post-production to censor her body to avoid getting an X rating.
Censor it? You've already fucking seen it.
I think there's only a certain amount, like you can't have it like full on the whole time.
The X rating, that would have
Man, that's just so fucking weird, though, dude. Like,
the X rating
it's
would have
like-
been US. That's so that was definitely
it's like
TriStar.
you could only have it full frame for 3 seconds before it needed to switch its frames, and then you could show it again.
That's pretty much what it was.
No, I know, but it's like that's so fucking stupid, dude. Like, you still see him fucking naked.
Scoops.
Exactly, Scoops. Fuck them shadows,
Fuck them
dude.
shadows.
The Cannon Group and Golan Globus Productions were renowned for making low-budget movies. This production, along with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and Masters of the Universe, were 3 of their most expensive.
Damn. Alright.
After its release, Colin Wilson recalled that author John Fowles had regarded The Magus, the movie adaptation of his eponymous novel, as the worst movie ever made. Wilson then sent Fowles a postcard telling him that he himself had gone one better, the movie adaptation of his novel The Space Vampires, as Lifeforce. In an amusing coincidence, actor Jerome Willis has a supporting role in both films.
Huh.
That's awesome.
Gotta love it.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the book is. Well, you said it's way different, right?
I'm guessing. I don't know anything.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a few things.
So from what I read a couple things about is, so they have the space vampires. The difference is in this movie, in the book, they have like their human form.
Okay.
Instead of a bat creature, they're squid-like.
Ooh.
But their true form is just basically pure energy.
Which would make sense. I was actually going to ask that. Like, did we even need the bat form, really?
I think that's just to kind of connect it more to the old vampire myths.
Right. That's what I kind of assumed, too, because if you didn't have that, then you can't really, like, you could still say the vampire angle, but obviously it wouldn't, like, hit as hard.
Yeah.
But it's just like, in all honesty, man, if they could change forms and shit, like, who's to say they were really even bats before that? Maybe all the change form to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Basically,
So.
they're just shapeshifters.
Right.
Olivia Hussey left the movie because she mistakenly thought that she was playing the role of Space Girl, which required too much nudity. She was then replaced by Nancy Paul. So she was originally supposed to play the nurse.
Oh,
You know, Olivia
Nice.
Hussey from Black Christmas,
Okay.
Oh, yes.
who
Interesting.
just recently passed.
She's a masochist.
Yes. I am also a voyeur.
Fucking bro, dude, just that. I literally had to pause the movie at that moment because I was just laughing so fucking hard. I was like, "What in the fuck, bro?"
And I love how he just casually just sits down. Like,
Dude,
Yep,
like I was
yep,
expecting
yep.
him to fucking whip out his like metal cigarette case, dude, and take out one of them fancy bitches, dude. You know what I
With
mean?
one of
Like,
those long cigarettes with the filter that's way out to here, like,
something, dude. Just like, what are we doing?
I have questions.
Nicholas Ball found out that his flying harness for the spacesuit scenes had actually been worn by Christopher Reeve for the first 3 Superman movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Toby Hooper almost lost one of his ears during the shooting of a scene on the freezing cold English moors.
What the fuck? Did it say how?
Frostbite would be my guess.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm,
okay, that
I'm
would make
dumb.
sense.
The film was promoted and filmed under the title Space Vampires. However, the producers and Canon Films reportedly producers Mannheim Golem and Yoram Globus' Canon Films reportedly spent nearly $25 million in hopes of creating a full-blown blockbuster. They felt that this title made it sound like a typical Canon low-budget exploitation movie. The title was then changed to Lifeforce, and it was released in the United States in an edited version, which brought in less than half of its production cost.
Oof. I will say though, I do agree. I think Life Force is a better title.
Yes.
Space Vampires would have seemed schlocky
Yes.
right off the bat.
Space Vampires is a movie you would have seen like back in the 60s or 50s.
Yes. Or an awesome Grindhouse now.
Yes.
While I do agree it is a better title, who's to say maybe it would have still done better as Space Vampires? Hooper has speculated that himself a little bit. He's like, I think it would have done a little better because you wouldn't have gone in with, I don't know. However he said it, I forgot, but he was kind of on the same.
But I feel
ballpark,
like if it's titled Space Vampires, you might feel like you're like John expected the whole thing to be like set in
Yeah.
space.
That's what I
That's true.
was
That's
geared
true, too.
for.
Yeah, you're
I was
not
ready
wrong.
for, and was a little upset that it didn't do that, but still worked out.
So this was the first movie in director Toby Hooper's 3-picture deal with the Cannon Group.
Oh.
The others being Invaders from Mars and Bobby.
Wow, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
There you go.
That's and you know what the funniest part is? Here, little quick with Canon Films. The only reason why he got the picture deal was because they said, you can make 3 pictures. One of them has to be Chainsaw 2, or else we don't give you the deal.
Okay.
Funny enough, the same deal was offered to John Carpenter in 1985, 1986, actually 1986, after In Big Trouble in Little China did not do well. They said, we'll give you a 3-picture deal, but one of them has to be Halloween 4. They penned the script with Dennis Etchison. It was going to happen. 11th hour, Mustafa and Irwin said, no, we don't like this script, which, by the way, I love Halloween 4, but if we had gotten that script, it would have been badass.
Now,
So-
is that one of the things they talk about in that the book, Taking Shape?
Taking Shape 2. This is all the sequels that never happened.
Holy, that book is thicker than I expected it to be.
Dude, the amount of ideas and interviews they have in that book is fantastic.
Oh shit, I'm gonna have to order that.
There was supposed to be a lot of different things in that, but that same deal was offered to Carpenter in 1986. Halloween 4 was going to be released in 1987. But of course, it just didn't happen.
Gene, I will agree with you. Canon Films was the best back then.
And when did they go out of business? It was like what, the very end of the 80s, and they were gone, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. What else we got, buddy?
The Churchill scenes at first took up the first 35 minutes of the movie. Approximately 12 minutes of these were cut, plus some scenes were moved to later in the movie and turned into flashbacks. All this was done against Toby Hooper's wishes.
Oh, no
Okay.
shit.
So Toby Hooper hoped to cast Billy Idol as the second vampire, but his
Mhm.
touring dates conflicted with the shooting schedule.
He also did his music video just before this too. He directed it. I forget
Which is
for
kind
what
of funny.
song.
Kind of funny because we basically kind of do get eventually a Billy Idol vampire, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Spike.
Oh, you do. You do. Sorry, Gene's got me looking on. Well, he doesn't, but I'm looking up a list of canon films now. Just to,
I'll keep going. Makeup artist Nick Maley averaged 70 to 90 hours a week during production, most of it applying makeup to Matilda May's fully nude body to make it look perfect and flawless, even though he admitted in an interview that her 18-year-old body was already pretty close to perfect. He joked once he had no issue with applying the makeup. In fact, it was his favorite part of the job.
That I don't know how to feel about that.
yeah, I'd say like I could agree, but at the same time, it feels weird to even say I agree to that.
No.
'cause, like she's 18, bro. So
Wow. Yeah, continue.
it's weird. It's weird being old.
Editor John Grover said in the Blu-ray feature that when they delivered Toby Hooper's original version to Golem and Globus, it was a little bit long, but it was a picture that worked. But the distributor said the picture was too long and they wanted it shorter. Toby didn't want it shorter. Grover left to work on Labyrinth, and Golem and Globus called somebody else in to edit it, and they slashed the hell out of it.
Oh shit.
I wonder then maybe that if it was the length he wanted it, I wonder if it would have been more successful. So curious.
It might have been. It might have been.
Curious.
An up-close look at the ribbons and medals on U.S. Air Force uniform that Steven Railsback wore reveals his character, Colonel Tom Carlson, is a Vietnam War veteran.
Oh shit.
Really?
Man, that was a hot topic at the time still too.
That's cool.
Nice.
Oh, let's see here. The film's main plot references the appearance of Halley's Comet with clear night skies and excellent visibility from England. The 86 appearance of the comet was actually the least favorable on record. In February of 86, the comet and the Earth were on opposite sides of the sun, creating the worst possible viewing circumstances for Earth observers during the previous 2,000 years. It was almost invisible from Northern Hemisphere in March and April in 86, which I do remember that. Because they were saying throughout how it was, nice clear sky to see the comet, and it takes up like 2/3 of the sky. And I was like, I don't remember ever really seeing it when I was a kid.
No shit.
Yeah.
All right.
In the film, the vampires have a vulnerability to iron weapons. In folklore, cold iron was supposedly able to repel, contain, or harm ghosts, fairies, witches, and other malevolent supernatural creatures.
I wonder why always iron.
Because it's pure.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Matilda May celebrated her 19th birthday during the filming of Lifeforce. Much to her surprise, the crew had found out about it and sang for her birthday. Actually, the scene with her being made out of all the blood, that was the scene that was filmed on her 19th birthday.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. That's cool.
Nice.
Let's see. So, looking at the runtime here, we got an hour 28. I'm just going to skip down, and I will cover all the differences, because I think everything else we can pretty much skip over because we've already talked about a lot.
All right.
Janet Fielding, Marina Sirtis, and Elizabeth Sladen were also considered for Space Girl. Sladen was also considered for Ellen Donaldson. All three had substantial science fiction roles in their careers. Sirtis starred opposite Patrick Stewart in Star Trek The Next Generation. She was Deanna Troi. Fielding and Sladen both had long-running parts as regulars on Doctor Who.
Oh shit.
Nice. All right.
I was wondering if that would tie over to this somehow.
Yes, the Cannon Group tried to get Sir Anthony Hopkins to play Colonel Colin Kane, who turned it down. Then they thought they had a deal with Terrence Stamp, but for some reason that fell through. Michael Gothard screen tested for Kane too, but when Toby Hooper met Peter Firth, he offered him the role. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else important there. I believe Michael Caine also screen tested for Colin Kane.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So Michael Caine was originally offered the role of Colonel Colin Kane.
He's like, it's already my last fucking name.
Okay, so we'll go into the scenes cut from the 101 minute, but in the 116 minute version. The voiceover describing the Churchill mission and the Nerva device. Deerbridge has a conversation with the radar technicians about the object in the comet and it being 150 miles long.
I feel like I remember that.
In the theatrical cut, they don't mention the length. They just say it's 2 miles high.
Yeah, that's all they say.
Okay, no, because definitely on Tubi, they definitely mentioned the 150 miles towards the end there.
The opening line of Carlson about what is 150 miles long, astronauts going into the comet, has remarks from Deerbridge about the state of the craft. The spacecraft opening up has bits and pieces removed. Dr. Bukovsky being told by a RAF officer about the state of Churchill's orbit, and it had not changed since leaving the comet. That wasn't in there. Bukovsky and a NASA official agreeing that the Columbia should be sent into space to investigate. Scenes with the Columbia Rescue Party were trimmed in particular. They talk about the fate of the crew and obtaining the videotapes. A whole scene is removed which introduces Philanda and the pathologist, which sets up Philanda's character. Cabinet minister discussing the crystal cases with Philanda, Bukovsky, the pathologist, and a metallurgist. The minister is inquiring whether x-rays have been done and their results blurred images. The metallurgist is very puzzled by the cases, plus comments about are the bodies alive or not.
Yeah, this was all in the Tubi one. I remember. I remember,
But it's
seeing
not in
those.
the theatrical cut.
Damn,
No,
dude.
that's not. I know.
And you know what the
being-
sad part is? Even though as we're talking about this, it literally goes off of Tubi tomorrow. So I don't know what's going to be on still, but yeah.
That's funny. After being shown the guard's body, Colonel Kane is interrogating Bukovsky and Philanda about the space girl, being told about the Churchill's escape pod being missing, the fire, and the cases. After this, Philanda's conversation with Kane about is their life after death is trimmed.
Yeah, it's not a very long one in the theatrical cut. That's for sure.
The Hyde Park scene is trimmed. The police inspector has 3 lines in the 116-minute version, but in the 101-minute version, he has only 1 line.
They cut 2 of his lines. Fuck.
Like,
That
fuck
sucks.
you.
Carlson's debriefing in a 116-minute version also includes Bukovsky introducing Colonel Kane of the SAS, remarking about "We all thought you were dead," plus the comments about a pretty nurse, and the Churchill flashback is trimmed.
Mm-hmm.
Just before Carlson's nightmare, a scene where Bukovsky informs Kane that NASA have tracked a strange object leaving the comet, which is heading for Earth in 2 days' time. Also, there's to be a meeting at Downing Street with the Prime Minister.
Dude, the Prime Minister was sweaty as fuck when he came in that scene, dude.
Yeah, he was
Like, he was already, like, super suspicious. As soon as he walked in that door, you're like, something's wrong with you.
After
and
the
then you see them face.
After the hypnotizing of Carlson's, comments made by Bukovsky about the vampires of legend taking their Earth with them. The majority of comments about vampires in the 116-minute version are missing from the 101-minute version, which explains why the title was changed from Space Vampires to just Lifeforce.
Well, that's fucking stupid.
Oh, see?
Then you really don't need them being bat creatures in that fucking version.
Pretty
Because
much.
if you're not even flipping it, what the fuck? That's stupid.
The scene with Ellen is cut slightly. The attack on Dr. Armstrong is shortened. The kiss between Armstrong and Carlson is removed. That's apparently not in the theatrical cut.
It's there.
After the deaths of Sir Percy and Armstrong, the Churchill flashback to the love scene between Carlson and the space girl is cut to the bone. Likewise, the scene with the infected prime minister and his secretary has had huge cuts. So it cuts the prime minister being told of the home secretary's demise. Plus, there are lines and reactions, close-ups omitted here, where, and everywhere. But believe it or not, the 101-minute version has more zombie mayhem than the 116-minute.
What? Why?
Boy, they really made some interesting cuts here.
Yes, they did.
That's odd.
Very odd.
Yeah, so I think that's the majority of what I wanted to cover. Let me just go through here again and make sure.
I'm not going to lie. I'm glad I watched the longer version, dude. For
Same.
sure. Like, I feel like...
I'll order the DVD and I'll watch it then.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, Matilda Mason.
Was that not the version you had, Bob?
No, I had the regular version because I didn't have the scroll, and I had a scrolling
Okay.
in the beginning.
You
No
didn't
narration.
you didn't have the narration.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
In the film, space vampires can switch bodies with regular humans, either cohabiting the body with the host's mind or displacing the previous owner's spirit. Among the plot twists in the second half of the film is that they can also reshape their new bodies to match their preferred form. These makes them shapeshifters, which is closer to the traditional depiction of vampires in literature.
That would make sense. Oh man, so if you put like that in like Dracula thing, like they're just turning into dogs just to like mate with dogs. Shit like that too. That's crazy. No shit. Awesome. Anything else, brother?
I'll just put this on last. So the storyline has many parallels to the original Dracula story. The vampire comes to Earth in a ship whose crew it has wiped out, just as Dracula comes to Britain in a sailing ship upon whose crew he has fed.
Yeah.
It takes refuge in a religious temple, creates a special link with a victim with whom it has shared its essence, who is later hypnotized to provide clues to its location. The team hunting it include a foreign-sounding doctor obsessed with death, and an American who can track it to a mental asylum while it spreads its plague through London. The vampire is eventually killed by the American using a knife, who also dies in the process.
Holy fucking shit, dude.
Damn.
Holy shit. That's awesome. Wow, I'm stupid that I feel so dumb not realizing half that shit. But yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Fuck yeah, dude. Vampires in space. I just feel like that title would have been worse personally in my mind.
I think it would have. I think it would have misled a lot of people.
Yeah, dude, because I would have been mad if I didn't get a full fucking space movie. I'm like,
That's
fuck you,
fair.
dude. You literally called it Vampires in Space, and it's on Earth. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit? No, Lifeforce. All right, cool. Down. All right. Thank you, Chad Daddy. That's where you kind of end it?
Yep.
All righty. I appreciate that. I know that was a
Yes,
lot.
thank you, sir.
I know you cut through some
My
shit.
pleasure.
Okay. So where did we watch all this?
Freebie for me.
Physical.
And I watched it on the Tubi.
Yep, got Scream Factory. I actually have the original recalled Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Oh, no shit. What was recalled about it?
They didn't have the rights to a certain documentary.
Oh, fuck it. Scoob says this is better than the new Nosferatu. I'll take your word for it, Scoobs. I still have not seen it. That takes us to, does cover art sell the movie? Would you rent this as a child? Well, Scuba showed us the cover art, which is kind of right behind us. I liked it. It looked intriguing.
I would.
I'm not going to
Very
lie. I
intriguing.
think I would be thrown off a little bit because I would expect more alien kind of shit going on.
Judging by that, yes, but I don't think I would have been disappointed at all.
No, because if 7-year-old me did watch this and saw the amount of titties that we see, I would have been like, oh my God. I'm like, I got to watch this by myself. Douche of the film. There's not like really one overlaying kind of. I mean, almost our main dude's a little douchey because he lied about like what actually went down on the fucking spacecraft.
True, but
I
he
would
was
agree.
also a little bit of a trance too, so it wasn't under all of his power. I feel.
No,
This dude looked like he was on drugs throughout the whole movie.
Oh, for sure, he was addicted. That's
Definitely, he was addicted.
what did Whistler say? Power of the pussy, baby. Want to hear from that? We'll freight trade for miles. Yeah, I almost kind of had to say our main guy just a little bit,
All right,
only
I'll
because
agree.
he withheld, I feel, crucial information that
think
because if they knew he was already like entranced by her, you know what I mean? I feel they would have like handled that differently and not let him been like so rogue out there. I could be wrong. I don't know. They don't know what they're dealing with either, right? So it's kind of a fly-by-night situation.
Very true.
But yeah, I mean, you could throw the vampires, but at the same time, like if that's the way they got to survive, is it almost like, are they douchebags or is it unfortunately they're creatures of like habit? Like, you know what I mean? Like
They're just trying to survive, really.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's just like an animal
Yeah,
trying to eat. Like you can't
Yeah.
really like fuck on that.
That's like picking out Jaws and making him the douche of Jaws. He's just
Right. Like he's
just doing what he
it's
does
the-
to survive.
It's the
Yeah.
mayor. It's always the mayor.
Oh,
But-
it's the mayor,
Yeah.
baby. It's the mayor.
Even if it's not the mayor, it's the fucking mayor.
It's the mayor.
Yeah, no. All right. So favorite kill. Dude, I gotta go Patrick Stewart's. the fucking bloodletting,
Oh yeah,
whatever the
definitely.
fuck that.
The blood
that looked
pulling
cool.
out of both of their
Yeah.
heads. Yes.
Now that dude was
That-
the other dude was already dead. It was confirmed, but Patrick Stewart was not dead at that time.
right.
So
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah,
I'm giving him that, dude.
I'm
Like
going to
that.
agree with you on that one, John.
See,
for
I'm gonna
sure.
say it was the one. I don't know if it was the pathologist, whichever, the one doctor that got turned to a vampire, and he was in the cell, and he saw them
The
coming.
second one. Yeah. Okay.
and he
yeah.
ran to the bars to try and feed off
And he
of them, and just runs in and
dusted
just
it, dude.
explodes.
that was good too. Ooh.
like. Did you see his hand was still hanging on the fucking
Yeah.
bars there? That's what I'm
I
thinking.
did
That
like
was-
that. That was good.
Actually, no. You know something? I'm going to change mine to the woman that was strapped to the table and
when she just exploded.
and
that
she
was
just
pretty cool,
exploded.
too.
So to
That
dust.
was
I'm
cool.
gonna go with that.
She fucking went Thanos, bro. Like just poof.
Seriously,
that yeah. Okay. So best scene.
the whole interaction with Carlson and the doctor. They're in the room and he's going through the whole thing with Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
That whole scene with them two.
I'm going to allow my inner Scuba Steves to answer this question, and I'm going to say all the scenes with the titties.
I mean, it's a second, you know.
I
I'm
feel like
actually-
that's how Scuba would say, but I could be wrong. Maybe
I'm
just-
actually not going to go with that. I'm going to go with the
No.
whole bloodletting scene where she just kind of formed out of the blood.
Okay.
That was good, too.
I mean, like, all right. So if I'm going to go with like an actual scene,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Ooh. I feel like it might have to be. It might be the scene where he's talking to her through Patrick Stewart. Like
That was that was such a great scene.
That
was
cool.
like I said. I
It
really
was
loved.
cool. I like.
Did you notice before everything went to shit with everything? Did you notice it all started with just a chandelier swinging back and forth above him?
Yes.
Like it
Yeah.
started like really small.
Ooh, Gene says penis-shaped spaceship going into vagina. Yes. Okay. Fuck. Thank you, Jim. Or thank you, Gene, for fucking. I forgot. I wrote that down. Hold on. Where is it?
That part, totally.
Second. Okay. Right after the first thing, which I wrote is dude is thirsty as fuck, which we talked about because the whole like she's perfect.
Dude, I just love the look she fucking gave him.
Right after that,
She's like,
we have
I'm right fucking here.
Right after that, we have a scene that says commence soft docking. Soft docking commenced. Like, oh yeah,
Oh
baby.
my God.
And that took me the fuck out, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Soft docking.
Soft docking. For sure,
One
dude.
side's thicker than the other.
Also, and I forgot to mention this. I thought it was funny, and I'm sure it's an actual like name for the bay, but I just thought it was funny when they had the naked people in the bay, and they were like, "Yo, you got to get down here to the tug bay," and then they literally show a scene. They just show her tits, and I'm like, "What? What?"
I did
What?
notice.
I was
What?
like, "That there's no way." I'm like, that has to be on purpose, dude.
The
There's
tug
no
bay.
way. They were like, "Yo, come see these titties in the tug bay, dude. Let's go." Like,
It's the
God.
rub and,
fuck
the
out
rub
here.
and tug bay.
Fucking right, bro.
Oh.
Oh, I'm glad I brought those back up. I forgot I had those. Fucking A, dude.
Anyway.
As I was saying, this movie was bananas, dude. It
It
was
really
bananas
was.
in the
Literally
best.
bananas.
It's bananas in the best fucking way. All right. Oh man. That takes us to worst moment or scene.
Ooh.
I mean, we got a couple scenes where they're just talking some bullshit. I'm not gonna say, but those are the scenes that they did take out that Chad Daddy mentioned earlier for the theatrical. And I'm not gonna lie, as one for, and I'm not. You guys know me, dude. I don't like slow burns or anything. This was not slow, right? Like even in the slower moments,
No, it wasn't.
I was still like, "Ooh,
Intrigued.
what are we learning about these
Yeah.
vampires?" You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think I have one.
I don't
Honestly,
think I do either.
I can't really think of one. No, nothing's jumping out
I
right
could
now.
listen. I could see a lot of people coming in this movie and maybe not liking this movie. Right? This is one where it's just like, bro, turn your mind off. Just open mind. You know what I mean? Just go into it. Fucking enjoy the ride. Yeah,
You know what this
I-
movie also kind of reminds me of a little bit? From Beyond.
I can see that.
I could see, a little something
Not
like
a
that.
not a great amount, but it's like that slight, like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I think I can see that.
I was getting vibes from Chad Daddy would have to correct me. I think there was a Supernatural episode where there was a naked chick walking around doing like fuck. Wasn't it Lilith or something? Or am I mixing something up here?
Might be.
I know Supernatural's deep, so that's a lot of lore, and I apologize for throwing that at you, curveball style. That just seemed very familiar to me too, but obviously that would be after.
I'd have to think back.
Oh, that's
honestly.
all good. Okay, so let's go to opening scene. Did it hook you in? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We were in
Yeah, it
space,
did.
bro.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, I wore my fucking alien shirt, dude. I was ready for fucking space films. I was like, ooh, because like we've discussed this before, dude. I'm all down for sci-fi horror, dude. Like, give me that shit,
Mhm.
especially when it's good. Fuck yeah, bro. This went in a different take, but once again, still really liked it. So, most attractive character. Do we even have to fucking
Right.
say? Like,
No.
they knew who they were casting.
I
The nurse was cute.
the nurse is a very close second because she was.
The nurse
I
was
mean, there
cute.
wasn't like a whole lot of women in this to begin with, but the nurse was really cute.
Don't forget Patrick Stewart, very handsome man.
I mean, I would even give it to the girl in the front or in the beginning who shot that look after the thirsty dude, right? Just because A, she was cute, but B, I also like the fact that she caught up on that shit. I was like, what the fuck? So that's you know what? We never even discussed the tapes that they brought out, dude. That matches were big. Did you guys see the tape scene or no?
Yeah.
Those shits look like fucking like film reels or some shit, dude, in those cases.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. All right, that takes us to now this is gonna be a tough one. Did the score set the mood?
I'm saying yes.
For the most part, yes. Even with the swashbuckling music, because I don't remember
love-
hearing swashbuckling music.
I loved that it had that Hammer horror kind of feel, so I'm saying yes.
It really did.
It set a mood for sure. I don't know if it was the intended mood. To me, it did not feel like when you have zombies attacking you, I feel like it should be scary sounding, right? Like they don't have a weapon. No. It shouldn't sound like we're going on to a fucking another ship to battle with swords and stuff. Like that vibe is a totally different fucking vibe. And I love it. Not saying I don't. It's just a very weird fitting vibe. And it almost kind of adds to me a little bit more of like that British appeal to it. And I could be wrong. Maybe it's not even the British side doing that shit. But I don't know, man. I wish you guys could go hear that version. Like, I'm glad Scoobs did because it is. And it's weird, like, because all you have to do is just close your eyes and you're like, oh, yeah, I hear that.
Pirate's life for me.
Fucking A, dude. All righty. That takes us to. I did like the score, though. I will say that it's not a negative thing against
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I would like to hear the intended one that, like, you guys heard. So, you know what I mean? That'd probably fit a little better with it.
Buy the Arrowed 4K. It has an isolated score.
Really?
Is that only UK though? You have to.
It's
it
only
region?
UK, but it's region free.
Oh, okay. All right,
Oh,
so
that's
good
cool.
to know.
Solid. Did we have a song?
Not that I remember.
All right, skip that
No.
one. Throw that in the
No.
trash.
Yeah.
Favorite character?
Colonel Kane.
Agreed.
Colonel Kane, but I
Not
also
even
like.
because of the voyeur thing. That's just the extra sidebar. I just like
Yeah.
Kane.
He was a
Kane-
badass.
He was, but I also like the other guy with the gray hair.
The doctor?
Yeah,
no, he was
Yeah, he
solid.
I like the doctor too.
I like Colonel Kane because he was the first one to figure out that she was intentionally leading them out of London as a distraction.
And well, I also liked when like shit hit the fan, dude, and he was going in there and they were just like, yo, listen, if you go in there, we can't come back in to get you. And he's like, yeah, no, give a shit. Give me your gun. Give me your fucking keys. Let's
Then as
fucking
he's
go."
I'm
he's
going.
leaving, they're like, "You don't want to go in there." He's like, "I know."
He's like, no, I don't. And then the dude just salutes him. I'm like, fuck yeah, man.
The
He's
way he
fucking-
saluted him, though, he's just like,
I'm sorry.
That's how the Brits salute.
oh, okay.
I know, but all I can
What?
see is Doofy from fucking Scary
Yes,
Movie.
yes.
Like, and I'm like,
Military party
I
fraternity.
know it's a military salute, and I know it should be respectful. And I'm sorry, but it looks goofy as hell.
Dude, I just saw over the weekend, and this could be an older picture, I don't know, but the guy that played Doofy took a picture with fucking David Arquette.
Oh yes, I did see that. Yeah.
It just said something like two legends united finally or something.
No, I think
Oh,
he's
yeah,
met
dude.
him. I think he's met him before.
The
Yeah.
crossover that needed to happen. Okay, that takes us to Was It Scary?
Not
this
really,
is a
but I think as a kid, the reanimated desiccated corpses might have been pretty
that
freaky.
might have been
Yeah,
interesting
I could
because
see-
that
yeah,
that was always kind of a freaky moment in Return.
Because like I remember
Living
them being
Dead,
on the
you
they
know?
were even on the cover of a Fangorium issue.
yes,
Okay.
they are. And I think I have that issue too.
I do have to say though, I don't even know if as a kid I would have, age wise, you know what I mean. I feel like I would have been more like ooh titties, like, but I know me too. So that takes us to does it hold up today?
I think so.
I would
say
say
so.
for the most part, absolutely. Special effects wise, obviously some are a little dated.
Yeah,
But-
that's for sure.
That doesn't mean that they still don't hold up well within the movie in itself, right?
Oh, I forgot to bring this up. I wanted to mention. Did you guys
Go ahead.
notice? It showed her when it showed her laying in the cathedral on that stone, and she
Yes.
opens her eyes. It's like a really extreme close up of her eyes.
Dude,
So
her
that-
contacts.
Oh,
yeah,
the
they had that like
swirl?
swirl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
love
no, that
that.
looked-
hypnotic
that shit was
swirl.
cool.
That was so cool.
And actually, I had to rewind that spot when she stood up, dude, because I was very confused. The way she stands up, her dress falls in front of her legs, dude. So it almost looks like she's hovering there for a second. I was like, what the fuck? And I don't think it was meant like an intentional thing. I just think it was like, trick of the fucking camera or whatever. But
Right.
Probably.
still cool for the moment. I was just like, oh shit. Okay, so acting.
That's pretty
Pretty
solid.
solid.
Everybody-
Especially the fact that she didn't even speak English. She learned her lines phonetically. They could have just dubbed somebody over top of her, but they didn't.
No, she learned. So I
And you
would
know
say,
what?
yeah.
I gotta say, man, like obviously, yes, she played the very seductive angle, 100%. But she still played the creep factor on it too, which I thought was really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like,
You did.
So a big factor of that in the way she moved is she was actually a trained ballerina, and that's part of the
Okay.
reason why
Okay.
Toby Hooper hired her is because the way she moved, like she
it
could
was
use
very
her.
flow. Okay.
Yeah. It was
All
very
I know
fluid
is
way
every
she
dude in this thing was having the chest battle in Seinfeld, dude, between the brain and the brain, and
Oh, God.
the top brain was not winning.
moved.
That takes us to cinematography.
The film looks. The
The
film looks
cinematography was extremely well
Great.
done.
Yes. Color
Yeah, I mean,
wise, visually wise, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the only thing I could bring up is like what Scoob said earlier, and I know this is like trying to find something. Them coming into the ship looked a little funny, but the rest of it, man, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I wish we had more shit on the ship.
Same.
Like, man, I don't know.
You mean
man.
on the alien ship, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, I just wanted so much more. I'm not gonna lie. In my head, dude, I was like, oh shit, dude, is this going to go like Event Horizon kind of style shit, dude?
They
Where we
could have
go-
spent half the movie just exploring that ship, and I would have
Fuck
been totally
yeah,
fine.
dude.
I'd have been totally fine.
I thought that's what we were gonna get, and I was ready for it. I was like, fuck yes, dude, let's do it. But we did not. So I digress. Premise. Did we
Space
enjoy it?
vampires. So what's there not to like about space vampires?
That actually was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
exactly.
and I like-
Or space titties.
I liked how yes, but I liked how they like some of the lore they kind of kept like their coffins, quote unquote, and that was their. It also had their air or whatever. How they were talking about how OG vampires need their dirt and shit. I don't know. It was cool. Climax, was it satisfying?
It was very abrupt. So
It was abrupt, and it doesn't explain it, but I think you're right. Like it does seem like the vampires win in the end.
I feel like the
pretty
vampires won,
much,
dude.
I think the more
mean,
I
I-
thought about it, I, think
I would
you're
say they
right,
probably
so.
contained the outbreak, but as far as
I mean,
the rest
London's
of it-
still kind of fucked though. I mean, London's literally burning at this
like
point.
London was like an hour from getting nuked.
Yeah, what were they were like an
literally.
hour 17 minutes or something?
Yeah.
Like they kept saying.
I could
So
see
like,
that.
but all the energy, all that life force goes up to the ship. We see it power the ship on, and it takes the fuck off.
Like, I want to know
And-
what happened to the victims after the ship leaves. Are they still like running around vampiring people?
I think they would, right? Like
I hope they would
to
then at that
they
point.
still need to try to harness life force in order to keep themselves going. Like even when our first victim and he went to that other doctor and like absorbed him. I don't even think he knew what he was doing. It was
He
just
didn't,
more of
because
a
when he
necessity.
realized it, he had a breakdown.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just more of like his body literally reacting almost like a magnet to it. Gene says space herpes, possibly. But like, is our dude dead too? Like, did he actually kill her? Or are they like good to go because they're on the ship now? Like, we don't know any of that shit, right? So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it was for the most part satisfying with a little more like it gave me some questions still at the end too. So
Yes, I'll agree with that for sure.
all right, let's move on to our R's. We got recycle, rewind, remake, reboot, and reshelf.
Rewind for sure.
I will gladly rewind this. Probably not right away. Probably I'll give it some time to cool off.
Yeah.
I did actually watch it pretty much twice for this, so I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'd like a reboot. I think
I agree. Rewind and reboot. I want
Yeah,
to see
I'd
more.
yeah. I
make
would like
it a little.
reboot would be
I'd
good.
make it a little scarier. Maybe a little bit more in space. I'm not saying you can't come back to Earth, but maybe make the first half in space,
Yes.
second half
Okay.
on Earth.
I could.
Right?
I would agree
Split
with
it up
that.
a little better. Yeah, really, like explore that ship out. That ship looked cool as fuck, dude.
It did.
Yeah.
Like that
would
whole
like to see
umbrella thing on the end that looked kind of like a squid and shit. Fuck yeah, man.
That would
Gene
look
said
nice.
he wouldn't have minded if this hour is 3 hours. I
think
don't know
3
if I
hours-
can argue
I
that.
think
That
three-
might be tough.
I
But
think 3 hours might be a bit much.
3 hours is a long
That's a lot.
ride for me, but that's fine. You know, sometimes it works. But no, honestly, man, I think a reboot. I don't know who you would get to play Space Girl. Or do you have them just returning? I mean, maybe you reboot it in that sense.
I wouldn't hate that.
No, I wouldn't either. I would like to just make them a little scarier, though. I think we notch up the horror a little bit. Still keep with the sci-fi elements, though. Like I dig that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm all for it. Let's rate this motherfucker. So Brody started us off with a 4. Scubas gave us 4.5. Mr. Ramone.
I'm actually going to stick right with Brody at a 4.
All right.
I'm going to stick it right there.
Chad Daddy, this is your pick. What are you giving, buddy?
I was thinking of 4, but I think we can bump it up to a 4.5.
4.5. And so I really enjoyed this movie. I was actually going to come in low, not low, but lower than you guys. I was coming in with a 3.5. After talking about, discussing everything, I think I'm with Bob and Brody. I think I'm at a solid 4.
Oh yeah.
So that gives us, this would be a solid fucking score for this one. 4.2, buddy.
Very nice.
That's 1985's
good.
Lifeforce.
That's a very respectable score.
Fuck yeah, it is, dude.
This is probably a better score than what they got originally when it came out.
I can't lie, man. I had no idea going into this movie what to expect at all. And it could have went either way, right? Like this, if I just wasn't in the mood or something like that, this might have not have hit as well. But for whatever reason, man, it fucking pulled me in and it fucking kept me there, dude.
I feel bad that I've been sitting on this movie for so long when I could have been watching it, almost yearly.
I feel the same way because I knew about this. I knew it was Tobe Hooper, and I just never did it till now. So I'm in the same boat.
This is probably the first time I've watched this since watching it on like VHS.
No shit.
It's been that long.
Okay.
Like I bought the Blu-ray and it just sat in the shelf.
Oh damn.
There you go.
All right. Well, that leads us to what are we covering next week, brother?
Next week is Scuba Steve's pick. We are going with As Above, So Below.
Okay,
I enjoyed this movie. I'm excited to rewatch it.
It's found footage, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I know, Gene. I know you're not a big fan of found footage. So just giving you fair warning, there, brother.
I've have not seen this. Oh, this is the one about the
Catacombs.
catacombs in Paris, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember
remember the
seeing the
previews.
posters and stuff.
Yeah, I remember the previews. The poster looked really cool.
Yeah.
Poster did look cool. It was the upside down Eiffel
Poster does
Tower.
it justice.
Yeah. Cool. Another new movie I've never seen. So sweet. All right,
buddy.
and let's see. Where can we find that? Looks like your average places. Looks like it's gonna be for rent. So Prime, YouTube, all that good shit. Or sail the high seas. If you need
Yo
to.
ho, yo ho.
All right. So other than that, we are at our 2-hour mark. I personally got nothing fucking nerdy to talk about. So
Saying,
The only
I know
thing
the final trailer for Fantastic Four dropped a few days ago. It looks really solid, you know.
it does.
So I know I'll definitely go see it. I'll probably have see if Gene wants to go.
nice.
The only bit of horror news I have, it's sad news though. Speaking of Chainsaw 2, Bob Elmore, who did about 90% of Leatherface's stuff in Chainsaw 2, has passed away.
Oh no shit.
That's
it.
He was majority of Leatherface. He was also part of that Rolling Stones where it was all 4 of them. Photo shoot. That was him, was not Bill Johnson.
Okay.
So that's all I have.
So the only thing nerdy I got isn't even happening till next week, anyways. But I'm slowly counting down to my Weird Al concert experience.
Oh,
I can't fucking wait, dude.
I want a full report of that.
Yes,
I wanna hear-
I want to hear that shit.
That's gonna be.
I'm fat. It's the first thing that comes to
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Somebody asked me if he is a headliner, and I'm just like, I have no idea, dude.
Yeah,
Who
it's
would
him
headline
coming out
for
as the
fucking Weird
headliner.
Al?
You mean an opener?
Yeah, sorry, that's not.
I was
yeah,
saying,
you
who-
know- no,
of course,
sorry.
I
No,
can't.
no, yeah, you know what I mean. Opener. That's sorry, I jumbled that up. Yeah, who the fuck would open for Weird Al?
Yeah, because
Weird Al.
But like,
So-
you know what I mean? Like usually, like openers, like it fits the theme of the other bands that are kind of playing. So like, who else are you rocking with?
I mean, at this point, does Weird Al even need an opener? It's Weird
No,
Al.
that's what I said. I was like, it's
No.
probably just Weird
No.
Al.
Go straight to Weird Al.
Yeah, he's gonna give us like an hour and a half, maybe
Oh.
2-hour fucking crazy show.
That's gonna
Is
be
he-
fucking awesome.
fucking
I'm
awesome.
jealous as hell.
I'm like,
I want to hear this whole
I
thing.
don't. Yeah, dude. I don't know. That's what my daughter's like. Do you think he's gonna play one of his polkas? And I was like, I hope. I just don't know which polka he's gonna play. I would assume
You know,
it's probably
it's-
the most recent.
It's
one,
gonna
but-
be it's gonna mash up the most recent songs. So it could be something completely new that hasn't been
right,
like,
which is fine.
recorded yet.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that too. Like, yeah, I can't wait for that shit, dude. But
Oh,
Do you
That's
have your
all I-
Hawaiian shirt ready for it?
yeah, I just don't know which one I want to wear. I might wear my bright red one. I feel that was the
That's
best.
like iconic Weird Al right there. Is like you think of like a bright red and blue Hawaiian.
Yeah, exactly. And I might go try to find some fake glasses. And if I feel devilish enough, I might shave down to a stash. I've never done a stash, but
Oh shit!
Oh.
it'd be gross. It'd be gross. I have way too fat of
don't know
a
if I'd
face with a
recognize you.
stash, dude. I already know. It's gonna be like a Farva situation. It's not gonna be good.
Nah,
Stick with the
You'd
beards.
still look sexy as fuck. You'd still look sexy as fuck.
Like if only I could get the fucking a little like nice wig, like in like what's his name had in the fucking movie. But
Radcliffe.
Oh
hell
my
yeah,
God.
dude!
I still haven't seen that movie.
I'm
I saw
sad,
it
man.
once.
I had friends
have
that
to.
watched
It's so
that
funny.
movie, and they asked me, they're like, "Did you like that movie?" I was like, "I fucking love that movie." And they're like, "We didn't like it," and I was like, "But you don't like Weird Al?" And they're like, "Well, yeah." And I was like, "Well, then of
Why
course
would
you're
you-
not gonna like the movie." They're like, "Well, we thought it was like a normal like
Like,
music
they wanna-
movie."
they
I was
wanna-
like, "Yeah, that's what he wants you to think." I was like, "But it's Weird Al, and he's a parody."
So
Of
they wanted
everything.
an actual biography.
Yeah, they wanted
Nah.
like, and I thought
That
it
would have
was
been awful.
I was like, but it's Weird Al though. I was like, it makes. They're like, but it didn't make any sense. I'm like, it makes complete sense, dude.
Yep, it had to
I'm like,
be a
he
parody.
wrote it.
They definitely missed
I was
the
like,
boat
he
right
has
there,
to
those
he
people.
has to parody himself. That's the whole. That's just shtick, dude. It's great. I've watched that movie in a minute, dude. I should watch that, man.
Same. You know, I can
I still
occasionally
have
find
to.
a physical copy of it in the cheap bins at Walmart. Next time I
Really?
see it, next time I see it, I'm just gonna fucking grab it.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely would. All right. That being said, I'm going to give it off to you, Bob. You can start us off.
This is your killing machine, your long Don Silver, Bobby and Moan saying we will see you next week for As Above, So Below. And I can't wait to hear about your Weird Al concert, Chad.
Well, this is your Dark Lord of Knowledge, your Chad Daddy, way down yonder in Chattahoochee, saying join us next week for As Above, So Below, and hopefully I'll get this fucking soundboard figured out and we'll get that sounding real nice and sweet.
Hell
So join
yeah,
us next
dude.
week.
And I am your not so mean fluff mess spree and Big Johnny D saying thank you once again, Gorehounds, for joining us for another fantastic episode of the Gore More Podcast. You know where to find us. You know how to share us. Please do. We love you for it. Thank you for joining us as per always. And remember,
Love you too, Scoobs.
Stay fresh.
Love you, Scoobs.
Scubas. And remember, boys,
You know,
stay fresh cheese bags.
Space titties.
I'm
Space
fat.
titties.
I'm fat. I'm fat.